high-efficiency furnaces, or an air conditioner installation, get great service from designairservice.com.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by St. Louis University Billikens Basketball. Choose your seats for 5 or more games and receive savings off the single game ticket price with a 5-game mini pack starting at $75. Purchase now at slubillikens.com.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
It's the Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called the show.
Now, Amy Marks scores Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, St. Louis. Anybody listening on the Odyssey app, or if you're in Florence, Italy, or whatever. Didn't we have somebody do that? Was it? No, it was Naples. Yeah.
Naples, Italy. Keith and Kay texted in from Naples that they were listening on the Odyssey app.
Why you should get the Odyssey app, because it's free, and as long as you have cell service or Wi-Fi or whatever, you can listen to us wherever you go. So get it, and also you can leave us a voice message from that very same app. You can call us too, 314-436-7900. We love your phone calls and your text messages. I don't know why when I'm saying it like this, it sounds like I'm condescending. I'm not. We really do love it.
You do sound incredibly condescending.
Oh, no, but we do. We really, really love it when you participate.
We love to hear from you.
That's right.
We do. I actually love texts.
I love
texts
messages.
Because there's a conciseness. It's a
pithy some of them
and sharp. Well, some of them. But if you are a texter and you get it, and it's pithy and it's sharp, a little biting, that's good stuff. That is good stuff.
If you want to see how good looking we are,
oh my gosh, we were just talking about that.
Facebook Live.
Yep.
YouTube, you can find us on YouTube. It is at KMOX 1120. We stream live on YouTube and on Twitter.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everybody will be talking about.
Missouri sees large turnout in the first couple of days as early voting continues here and runs through November 4th, the day before the election.
Maybe I'll check it out today. See how the lines are doing. And Trump, well, he was in Georgia yesterday. He's in Arizona today. Kamala Harris and former President Barack Obama, now they're in Georgia today, hitting the big states as the campaign nears the end.
Robert Thomas with the fractured ankle. He's going to be out for several weeks. This happening as the Blues will take on the Maple Leafs tonight at 6 o'clock. Amy Marks scores Chris Ranji again. Very happy to have you with us today on this beautiful Thursday. We mentioned the early voting, and Amy tried to do it on Tuesday, and you did it on a whim. You just got there, and it was like, whoa, 2-hour line? No, okay, I'm going away.
The only reason I'm pointing that out is I don't want to discourage people. It was literally the first day in the afternoon on a whim, and I think people were so excited. Honest to goodness, I think with every day, it will probably... I don't know, but maybe slow down as it evens out.
Of course.
That first day, people were so excited.
So we've heard from, county clerks from around the state, middle of the state, the western part of the state here in the St. Louis area, who have been reporting that the lines and the enthusiasm to get out and vote has been really higher than normal. Of course, well, this is a new thing for Missouri to do this no excuse early absentee voting. And this is great. It to me, this should be the norm everywhere, that it is accessible and easy to vote, and it doesn't have to be all on that one day. Just let people do it at their leisure. Sometimes everybody works, right? People have to work. People have schedules. They can't necessarily get out and vote on election day, just a little bit too much, right? So if you give people more time to do it and more days to do it, more people will participate. And of course, the whole thing works better, Amy, the more people participate, right? You don't want 20% of the electorate, the 20% of the country to decide who our politicians are. The more people who participate, the better it is for all of us. And we would like to hear from you, by the way, with that voice message feature on the Odyssey app, or send us a text message, give us a call if you have an early voting experience and it's been good or bad,
Mhm.
or if you intend to do it, why you intend to do it, and why you are so enthusiastic, if you are, about voting this time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have several people that I follow on Instagram. Yes, some influencers. I try to follow decorating accounts and food accounts and so forth. But some of the there's a young decorator, and she said, "Hey, I'm seeing all these people early voting." She said, "I've never early voted. I've always been so excited to vote on the actual voting day, but I'm wondering, should I vote today?" And so I actually voted in her poll. I was like, I tried to vote early because I was excited. You should go. And so she ended up going, and she had a great experience, and it was fine. She's in Ohio, for what it's worth. Um, Going back to what you said, it's better when more people vote, because that's the problem with the primaries.
Yes.
Because you get the wackos. And it reminds me of W.B. Yeats. You'll know this quote. It's from his poem, The Second Coming. "The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity."
Mm-hmm.
And it's so true, right? You
Mhm.
think of the tired, fatigued, normal people who are like, "Oh, I got soccer practice in the grocery store, and we have friends coming over," or, whatever it may be. If you miss your chance to vote, especially in the primaries, it's the wacky, crazy people who take politics as a religion. They're the ones that are voting in the primaries, and that's why we have who we have.
Which is fine. If your schedule is such that it just absolutely does not allow you, you just can't. You can't get out and vote. And I don't know how that would be possible unless you're out of town. But if you're out of town, you have an absentee ballot. So there's time now. You have 2 weeks leading up to an
Mhm.
election to get it done. That's fine if for whatever reason your schedule is the most hectic thing on earth and you don't have the ability. But if that's you you lose the right, in my opinion, to complain about your options.
Yeah.
You lose the right to complain about,
So-
oh, why are these the only two that we get to vote for? How come we don't get more choices? Well, because people aren't participating.
So
That's why.
I have this question about early voting, because I agree. I think voting should be as accessible as possible, as secure as possible. We do a great job of that. The states overall do. I think Florida, after being embarrassed 4 years ago, after
Yeah,
being
2000.
after being completely embarrassed 24 years ago, they got their act together. I think it would behoove most states to follow their protocol. But yeah, you want it to be secure. You want it to be available to as many people as possible. This is where I'm at. I don't know the perfect number, so I'm not saying I have an answer here. If you're going to have a voting day, I think, yes, it should be a federal holiday. I almost feel like there need to be two, because what about people working grocery stores or nurses or essential workers?
Yeah.
I think if you're going to make it a federal holiday, you might have to make it two federal holidays, 2 days in a row. But then that would cut down on early voting. And every state has different rules for early voting. Virginia is 6 weeks. And I have heard someone say, like, I think, you should have a month to vote. My concern is exactly what you said after Trump got shot, after the Democratic National Convention. A month is a really long time in a political calendar. And I do think there are people, maybe only a few, who might change their mind if something were to happen in that month and you're like, oh, shoot. I know this may not change everybody's mind, but the Hitler comments are pretty bad.
Yeah.
And let's say you were on the fence. And again, I know this is a bad hypothetical. Just bear with me. Say you were on the fence, but you voted early. Then the story breaks about the Hitler comments, and you're thinking, that kind of pushes it over the edge for me. You normally don't pay attention to the news, but this is too much. But now you can't change your vote. You can't change third party. You can't abstain from voting. And I do think the bigger the window is not always better. There's got to be a
agree
sweet
with that.
spot.
Okay, I would agree with that. But absentee balloting has always happened pretty early and pretty far out.
Which is more of
so
a
let's find
nor-
a sweet spot.
Right.
So a
And I'm
sweet
talking
spot,
about early
maybe a
voting.
week.
Yeah.
How many people really are changing their vote? How many times does something happen literally the week prior to an election to change everything? I think that's very, very rare. For the most part, by then, you know what your candidates are, what they stand for, and who they are. So I wouldn't be so concerned about that. Maybe make the window 5 days, 7 days, or even just 2 or 3 would be helpful for a lot of people. Maybe have one of those days be a weekend day. Have
Yeah,
one of them
and-
being Saturday.
And absentee voting is, like you said, by necessity, a larger window. But not everybody wants to do that because it's a bit more of a hassle than in-person absentee voting, aka early voting. Maybe you make early voting, like you said, 1 week, but the actual voting day is a federal holiday.
So we have a couple of text messages
Yeah.
that have come in, and one says they have gone by the Board of Elections. Don't know which. There's more than one location
Per
for that.
county,
It
the
could be-
city. Like
yeah.
mine, we talked to the county, St. Louis County Board of Elections with Eric Fay.
This texter says just went by the Board of Elections. The line is out the door. Another texter says 1 hour, 10 minutes to vote yesterday at 11 a.m.
Oh,
at the, is it Buter or Butter Library?
Booter.
Booter?
Yeah.
Library on Hampton. So
Oh, that's not bad at all. I mean,
hour
'cause
10?
an hour 10, and like I said, my parents, right, pretty rural, so they never really have lines. But Hampton, right, busy area, a lot of people. Plus, like we said, these satellite voting stations for early voting, there are way fewer than polling stations on voting day. So an hour and 10, that's not bad.
This text message says on voting, another concern is the deception in ballot language. For example, the amendment that would eliminate ranked choice voting is
Mhm.
worded as if it will exclude illegals from voting, and that is already the law. They include that provision to deceive and hide the true purpose of the proposed amendment. I think ballot language, and sometimes the languages, which it happened here in Missouri, and it happened on the reproductive rights amendment, where Jay Ashcroft challenged the wording of it or tried to reword it, and then that rewording was challenged because of that. So leading up to an election, if amendment language is deemed to be confusing
Mhm.
or misleading, it can be challenged, and it does happen. It happened in Missouri.
Yeah. And I think the ballot language is clearer now because of that, because there's that recourse that you have. So I think the biggest thing is think of this. Like, oh, well, it is intentionally confusing. It can be challenged, but think of how confusing legal documents are. Legal documents,
Yeah.
I'm like, I think they're confusing to keep lawyers in business. But I mean, any type of,
A ballot shouldn't be, though.
it shouldn't be, but I can see how it's the ballots necessarily aren't written how we talk.
I agree
Yeah.
with that, because sometimes it's like, wait, if I'm voting no, does that mean
Yeah.
I want it to happen or not happen?
Yeah.
It's yes, sometimes the language is very, very confusing. Also, another thing to know, if you do go and vote, and this question came up again today, we were talking about it in the office, you don't have to fill everything out. If all you want
Right.
to do is go in and vote yes on sports betting, and that's the only thing you care about, you can mark that, leave everything else blank, and that vote on that thing will count.
Absolutely.
You do not have to fill everything out. So I know some people have asked that question.
Yeah.
And your ballot will still go through.
And then last quick thing before we break, and remember, because at least in St. Louis County, the ballot is very long. Go to the county election board
Yes,
website.
look it over first.
Look at the sample ballot so you know, this is how I'm going to vote. Because if you do it while you're voting, it's going to take you a lot longer. So just get the sample ballot. Make sure you know what
I
you're doing.
actually just got the sample ballot in the mail. I think it had been there for a week, and I don't check my mail a lot. And I finally looked at it
For this-
yesterday.
And you're in the city.
Yeah, I'm in the city.
Was it pretty long?
It didn't seem unusually
Yeah.
long. It seemed normal
Yeah.
to me. I don't know.
I felt like,
It seemed like a couple of really long pages,
yeah.
which is about right for a general.
Right. Because like in St. Louis County, we had a few county council propositions that you don't have, but I'm assuming you have aldermanic propositions, maybe?
There are a couple, yes.
Yeah.
And the lengthiest parts of the ballot where there's a lot of reading are the amendments.
Mm-hmm.
And the most votes is, of course, for judges, which is kind of how it always is.
It is. And okay, sorry, I keep saying
You have a
last
thing
thing.
about judges.
Yeah, I do, because a lot of, at least in St. Louis County, they can't campaign, and you vote to retain them. And it's judges actually get like the least amount of votes because people either don't vote because they're like, I don't know these judges, or they're like, I'm voting them all out. Let's just start over. But that's a bad strategy because we have a lot of good judges. You don't want to vote people out just because you don't know who they are. So you can research a little bit, or but anyway.
And that's stuff you got to do ahead of time.
You
This
do.
is We were talking about knowing the sample ballot ahead of
Yeah.
time. Do not go into the polling place. You're probably not allowed to get your phone out, are you?
Oh, you are, I think.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't
Because
get out
I
and
did in
start
the primary to like pick,
Okay.
because I took notes beforehand.
Well, while you're in the booth, don't start Googling
Yeah.
the judges. Do
Yeah.
it before you get there.
And don't be surprised, like Amendment 7. I didn't even know there was an Amendment 7.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
America's infrastructure is crumbling. Our roads, bridges, and airports are in desperate need of repair. But how do we fix them? Join us for a special 1-hour program, Crumbling America, the Infrastructure Crossroads.
Hear it Friday night at 10 on KMOX or on the free Odyssey app.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you're looking to get a jump on the holidays and get yourself into a little bit better shape, get out to Supplement Superstores and ask them about the 213 Flashpoint Complex. While you're there, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll give you 20% off the 213 Flashpoint Complex. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
She learned the value of hard work and responsibility at her family's small business at an early age. Ann Wagner took those same hard-working Missouri values to Washington. She's made it her job to keep the radical left from harming your job. Today, in the midst of Joe Biden's out-of-control inflation, Ann Wagner protects us by working to lower costs for families. As a mother of 3, she understands the work and has done it to keep your home and community safe. That's why Ann Wagner fought to secure our border and stop traffickers from smuggling fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our communities, and why she gave law enforcement the tools they need to defend us. And Ann Wagner took a stand against the defund the police radicals who will leave us in harm's way. She'll always back our brave law enforcement officers, putting conservative values to work for us. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navien's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Real issues that impact your life. No polarizing politics, just relatable conversations. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I voted early and the experience was fine. There's a very long line. I do dislike that they took away the voting machines where you just press what you wanted. And at this one, we have to fill in all those dots. I felt like I was back in school again.
Paper ballots, baby. They're secure.
So are the.
You can't hack
everything
a
else
paper
is-
ballot.
You can't hack a computer anyway. They're air gapped.
It does feel like school. And that's why Eric Fay, the Democratic Director of Elections in St. Louis County, reminded us it's not a test. Feels a little bit like the SAT.
Yeah, somebody yesterday, I think it was, I don't know if it was on a YouTube stream or one of the text messages we got, who said, man, they should make those squares that you have to fill in like a lot smaller, because it just feels like you're filling in forever.
I know it
It's
does.
just so much.
It does feel like you're circling in.
We're on Twitter, as we
Mm-hmm.
mentioned earlier, at Chris Amy KMOX, and we have a Twitter poll that we
Mm-hmm.
want you to, first of all, follow us, please, because the more followers we have, the cooler we think we are. So that's number one. Number two, there is a poll that is up right now, and it is asking this question: how long are you willing to wait in line to vote? Your options are an hour or less, 2 hours or less, 3 hours or less, or no line would deter me.
Yeah.
So there are two options right now that are overwhelmingly the favorites at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to
Nope.
influence. I'm not going to influence.
Don't
I want you to go
influence.
vote. So go to at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter.
Okay, I know probably in the 12 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about an opinion piece that I thought was really interesting out of Newsweek magazine. It's the granddaughter of Billy Graham. And she writes, as the granddaughter of Billy Graham, as an evangelical Christian, she's voting for Kamala Harris, and here's why. And she lays out her argument for why she can't vote for Trump. It was pretty interesting. So would love to talk about that at in the noon hour. But I don't know if you saw that there's a new biography coming out, Ronj, on Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell. And he made it very clear that he backed and supported special counsel Jack Smith, who was prosecuting Trump for what happened on January 6th. And he said, Mitch McConnell says that he hopes former President Trump will, quote, pay a price for his role in January 6th. Here's another quote that Mitch McConnell gave, quote, if he, meaning Donald Trump, hasn't committed indictable offenses, I don't know what one is. And Mitch McConnell is the longest serving Republican leader, and he has been a critic of Trump. He arguably has not been a strong enough critic of Trump and allowed the party to be hijacked underneath his watch. But McConnell also said, quote, there's no doubt who inspired it, meaning January 6th, and I just hope he'll have to pay a price for it.
Well,
and don't forget, in the first 24 hours after January 6th, overwhelming, unanimous condemnation by the leaders of the GOP.
Speeches on the floor of the Senate were pretty universal.
Yeah, and unequivocal.
And it's amazing how things have shifted in the course of 3 years.
And I think that
It's
was their time. You can do an expedited impeachment. And Mitch McConnell and the Republicans in Congress had the opportunity to do that in the first 24 hours after January 6th, and they failed.
And honestly, I think secretly the vast majority of them would wish they would have done that and could have moved on from that to something different, to a new era in the Republican Party. It's something different than what it is now. I bet, and again, I don't know this for sure, but I feel pretty confident that if you were to get each one of them individually, privately, and poll them, that the numbers would be overwhelming. They wish they could move on. McConnell, by the way, said back in June, quote, he earned the nomination and he is voting for Trump despite
Despite that, in 2021, he was very close to voting to convict Trump of related impeachment charges in 2021, which would have blocked Trump from running for office again.
It's a great day to talk to Major Garrett. I think every day would be, and today is even better. We're going to do that. CBS Chief Washington Correspondent joins us next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
Missouri's judicial system gives voters the final say in retaining their judges, so know your judges before you vote November 5th. Visit yourmissouriJudges.org. That's yourmissouriJudges.org.
Paid for by the Missouri Bar, Misha Epps, Executive Director.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies, 56 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. Boeing factory workers have voted against the company's latest contract offer. The 6-week strike has stopped production of the aerospace giant's best-selling jetliners. Tesla's third quarter net income rose 17.3% on stronger electric vehicle sales. CEO Elon Musk predicts the company will achieve up to 30% sales growth next year. New research shows Russia has worked to amplify false and misleading claims about the U.S. government's response to Hurricanes Helene and Milton as part of the Kremlin's efforts to manipulate Americans before the November 5th election. The research comes from the London-based Institute for Strategic Dialogue. Coming up in the news at 11, police make an arrest in the murder of a Granite City woman. Let's get a check now of the weather. We are looking for a pleasant day, plenty of sunshine, a high 75, cloudy tonight and warm, a low 64. And we could see a shower or two late tonight into tomorrow morning. Otherwise, for tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, a high 73. Currently 55, both in Florissant and St. Peter's, 56 downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Ulta Beauty.
We've brought the Emerald City to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from REM Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Weather can be unpredictable nowadays, but your local news station on the free Odyssey app has got you covered. Whether you need an umbrella, windbreaker, or an extra layer, or two, we'll let you know. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station to listen on your smartphone or ask your smart speaker to play it before you head out the door. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station. That's AUDACY.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
It's a great time to build a Fisher & Fritchell home. Hi, I'm Bernie Miklas. Get $40,000 in free options on homes from their luxurious Heritage Collection during the Windsor Park closeout sale in Lake St. Louis, or with pre-grand opening savings at Harvest and O'Fallon, a master plan community with a town square, pickleball courts, dog parks, and more. Base prices start in the 500s, minimum $125,000 option spend. Learn more at fnfhomes.com.
This is a special alert to anyone owing the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or with unfiled tax returns. Write this number down, 800-373-0322. The IRS has ended COVID forgiveness and they are cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to hear about our tax debt reduction programs. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, we still can help you. You may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a mere fraction of what you owe or for other resolution programs. Tax Relief Helpers has tax agents available now for a free consultation. TRH has already helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning them an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you or your business owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands to the IRS, you don't have to be afraid anymore. Call our relief hotline now to see what savings you may qualify for at 800-373-0322. 800-373-0322. Once again, that's 800-373-0322.
Don't miss A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical, coming to the fabulous spots for 2 weeks only, October 29th through November 10th. It's the uplifting true story of how a kid from Brooklyn became a chart-busting American rock icon. This incredible Broadway hit musical features Neil Diamond classics like America, Forever in Blue Jeans, and Sweet Caroline. And KMOX has your chance to win tickets to see the show. Just register now at KMOX.com/contests.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Podcast The Bernie Miklasz Show today on the free Odyssey app and follow to receive Bernie's daily take on Cardinals, Blues, or whatever else is in the news. AUDACY.
Spend my days with a woman and kind. Smoke my stuff and drink.
Every Thursday at 10:30, we talk to Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News, Major Garrett. And he's also the author of The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie. It's a great book to read leading into the election. I got a signed copy. No big deal. Also,
kind of a big deal.
The Agent of Betrayal is one of his podcasts, and so is the Takeout podcast. And we are efforting Major Garrett right now. Maybe there's some major news we don't know about. Or as Amy said,
we should send out the Major Case Squad
to find him.
That's what.
Where is he?
I mean, hey, that's if you're going to look for him, send out the Major Case Squad. That's what I would do.
And if he doesn't show up soon, it's a major problem.
Okay. So let's do this.
Yeah. Well, I was going to read a couple of things right quick.
Oh, my gosh.
Do you mind?
Well, like a poem to kill time?
Dude, no.
You're going to start reading Harry Potter.
No, I'm just going to read it.
We wait.
I was going to read a couple of comments.
Okay.
Regarding the early voting and all of the stuff and how things are going in Missouri.
Okay.
Please nobody get mad at me for saying that.
I love the Central West End location that someone voted with a minute line.
Yeah, they said it was 1 minute at the Central West End location, which I think is the Schlafly Library. Less than a minute they got in and out.
Quicker than instant rice.
That was a message on Twitter, which you can follow us at Chris Amy KMOX and vote on our poll. Also, this one says they voted. It's from Linda. She voted yesterday at the Clark Family County Library. I think that's on Lindbergh, right? Got there at 12:40, walked out at 1:40. It was very efficiently run and an all-around pleasant experience. There were plenty of voting booths for everybody to use.
If she got there at 12:40 and walked out at 1:40, that means the line was not very long at all because it is a longer ballot. So
and that's a lunchtime.
That's the voting process as well.
You would think there'd be a lunchtime rush.
Okay.
Right?
You would. This is kind of interesting since we're talking about voting. I just had never thought of it, and it's not a huge deal. But you know how people were following the story of Jimmy Carter wanting to live long enough to vote for Kamala Harris. And he did. He cast his vote for Kamala. I will say, I wish they would stop showing pictures of him just for his own dignity because he doesn't look great. It's a little rough. I don't even know how he voted, to be honest. It looked a little rough. Like, give the guy maybe some privacy. Let him make a statement, but give the guy some privacy.
Maybe he doesn't want privacy.
I don't know. But at any rate, he voted. And then it never occurred to me, what if he dies before the election? 2 weeks is a long time. Although at the same time, he's been on hospice for a couple of years, right? He's been on hospice for a very long time. But
Yeah.
let's say he dies. What happens to that vote? Well, it turns out that it really depends on what state you live in. Some states, if you early vote, right? You're alive, you can early vote, and you vote, and then you die. Like, you die tomorrow. Some state, that vote counts. Some states, it does not count. And some states don't have specific rules. But it was kind of interesting because I never thought about that with Jimmy Carter, because it's such a small number of people that each state just kind of handles it. But it was kind of interesting that if you're able to vote, I kind of feel like it should, because we're in the process.
So
it should count.
I know there is this gag reflex that people get when you even remotely suggest that maybe some things should be totally federalized, or at least the rules be the same across the board. And I know that people love their states' rights. And I get that. I get it to an extent. But something like this, which is a national election,
Mm-hmm.
even though there are, in each county, you're voting for some different things, local things, why shouldn't there be universal rules on elections? Like, okay, this is the standard. If you place a vote absentee and you die before the election, your vote doesn't count. And that's how it is in all 50 states.
Then you at least
Why
know.
is it like in 25 it's like this, and in here 20 it's not, and in 5 we don't have an answer? Why is it? It seems it doesn't seem efficient to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, the same thing with early voting. Why can you vote early for 6 weeks in Virginia and 2 weeks in Missouri?
Yeah,
Someone
I
could say that's not fair.
completely agree with you.
So I do agree that it is an incredible measure of protection that the states run their own elections, but maybe for some major rules, kind of like the voting day is November 5th across the country. Maybe the early voting timeline should be uniform, and then maybe the rule on dying if you early vote, that should be uniform. Either way, it's probably not, it's not a huge number, obviously, but just so it's in the rule book.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it should be, we should treat that vote like a 3-pointer. Like, if it's up in the air and the buzzer hits, hey, shot's already on the way.
That's such a
Shot's already on the way, man. It should count.
That's great. But in hockey, it has to cross the line. The puck
And I
has
think
to cross the goal line.
That's
So
why hockey's not as popular as basketball.
that is the only reason. Not because it's inaccessible and super hard to follow the puck. But no, I do. That's funny because I think I could be persuaded either way by whoever is the most eloquent debater. Because this is why it shouldn't count. I'd be like, oh, wow, that's a really good point.
I am
and
about
then
the
someone
same way
said,
on
this
this.
is why it should count. I'm like, oh, that's a great point. I don't know.
This is one of those that you just don't feel that
I don't
strongly
feel
about.
that strongly.
But now that I've thought of
The 3-point analogy.
I kind of feel like that should be the standard.
I think you won me over.
It's good, right?
It's really good.
It's like you just imagine your vote is the ball in the air. Once you've dropped it off, hey, now we all watch and wait. Buzzer hits.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So
it counts.
That's pretty funny. I like that. And like I said, what's funny is I would have to be the opponent or the devil's advocate, because in hockey, like I said, the puck has to completely cross the goal line.
Well, now I'm thinking of it. I think it should totally depend on whether or not it helps my candidate or not. That's the way we should all look at it like that.
Let me tell you, I knew Betty. We're not counting her vote. Not Betty. No,
I do not want Betty's voice heard.
I think it's pretty funny. I think should be some uniform. Okay. While I know we're figuring out the major situation, there was a story that was sent to me in Newsweek, and it's an opinion piece, and it's from the granddaughter of Billy Graham, and obviously he has multiple grandchildren. But the title is "I'm Billy Graham's granddaughter, and I'm voting for Kamala Harris." And she breaks down why, as a Christian, that voting for Trump doesn't align with her beliefs. And she said she even acknowledged the past of her grandfather, Dr. Billy Graham, and how she said that my grandfather shares one thing with Trump, is they both have stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But I fear this may be the only characteristic that they share. She said, for one example, one of my grandfather's favorite Bible verses was Micah 6:8, which requires us to love kindness and mercy and to walk humbly. For Trump, however, his notoriety and wealth fuels his ego. While he puts on a facade of religion, he rejects the fundamentals of Christianity. We have seen the way he treats those who are marginalized, women, and anyone who disagrees with him. Yet Jesus had told us that, quote, people will know we are disciples by your love. Furthermore, he himself has admitted that he does not ask for forgiveness from anyone. Trump's words and actions are fundamentally incompatible with evangelical principles. Contrary to some who claim that he has been anointed by God to lead, Trump cannot return the U.S. to faithfulness. Sadly, by embracing such a megalomaniac, Christians have been turning away those who are curious about the Lord. We lose credibility when we say God is love, but then rally and sometimes even riot in support of an individual whose entire worldview centers on himself. And she goes on and just lays out her argument for why she can't vote for Trump. And it is primarily focused on that.
Is she as, and I don't know much about her, is she as evangelical as her family was before her? Is she different in that way?
Well, I don't know that she's outwardly evangelical or has a life in ministry. She's a therapist. She serves children, couples, and families. And from her opinion piece that she wrote that is rather lengthy, she talks about her faith and she quotes scripture. So it's easily to be assumed that she herself is a Christian.
This text message says, and this is from a 636, and you can text us 314-436-7900. If you have already placed your absentee vote, you should not be allowed to die until the election. It's like signing a contract. Just suck it up.
That's fair.
I agree.
That's fair.
Yeah, what business do you have dying before the election after you voted?
You signed a contract.
You can't hang on for a week and a half?
You know what that's like? It's like responding to, like, as an RSVP, an invitation to the party, not showing up.
That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
Or you do what I do and you click maybe. That's what I do pretty much for every invitation. Hey, Jimmy O'Brien, who is the founder of John Boy Media. Maybe you've seen those videos where he breaks down arguments and he does lip reading on, during baseball. Usually it's baseball stuff that he does it. And they're really good videos. You can find them on YouTube, and they make the rounds on social media. John Boy is going to be with us at the top of the hour. He joins us at 11 o'clock. When we come back, however, we will bring you Did You See This? It's Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Genesis of St. Charles is knocking it out of the park with the biggest inventory around. In fact, selection at Genesis of St. Charles is the best they've ever had. So head to their state-of-the-art facility and see for yourself and take advantage of 0% financing through the end of October. See dealer for details. Stop in today at Genesis of St. Charles, a quarter mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70, or online at genesisofstcharles.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. The director of Siteman Cancer Center, Dr. Tim Eberlein.
The new building is going to be focused on clinical care and accrual to clinical trials, and it'll integrate radiology evaluation of patients.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Our goal at Neoviten is to make supporting your nutrition as easy as possible. That's why we created the Neoviten monthly subscription. Just go to neoviten.com, choose your multivitamin, sign up, and we will do the rest. You'll receive your Neoviten multivitamin every month with no long-term obligation. You can pause or cancel at any time, and shipping is free. Each Neoviten multivitamin includes our physician-formulated proprietary blend for nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Start supporting your nutrition the easy way with Neoviten multivitamins. Sign up for a Neoviten subscription today at neoviten.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Looking for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair. And hello to thick, healthy hair with hair volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
I'm Frank Ladd. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy?
Ranj,
Yeah.
do you have a lady friend?
Go ahead. What do you have?
Ooh, evading the question.
You don't need to know nothing about nothing.
Have a lady friend. Here's what you need to do. So I don't know if you like goldfish. I love goldfish, but goldfish crackers kind of marketed towards kids, right? It's kind of a preschool.
Says who?
Well, it says goldfish.
Whatever.
The snack that smiles back, goldfish,
Yeah.
and it just feels a little bit childish, even though I think they are delicious.
Disagree, but go ahead.
They're delicious. So they are
Disagree.
changing the name of the brand temporarily to give millennials and Gen Zers a chance to buy goldfish and not feel silly. They have named the goldfish, and I'm not joking, Chilean sea bass crackers.
I kind of like that too.
So they're $7.38 a bag. I actually clicked on multiple stories and went to the website because I thought this isn't real. If this were April 1st, I would think this is a joke. But it's true. You go to ChileanSeaBassCrackers.com. It's while supplies last. It started yesterday. It goes through October 30th. And it looks like a goldfish bag, but it says Chilean sea bass
I'm sorry,
crackers.
but I would like to hear from a single adult, anybody over the age of 18. Feel free to text into the show at 314-436-7900. Tell us if you have ever one time felt embarrassed eating or buying goldfish crackers.
So let me ask you this.
I would have no shame in picking those up at the store.
I love goldfish. Do you eat Teddy Grahams?
I don't even know where to find Teddy Grahams
The
anymore.
grocery store. What do you mean you
I don't know,
where
but
to
what
find
aisle?
Teddy Graham? With graham crackers and cookies.
I don't go down that aisle. I guess.
Look
I don't
at this
know.
guy. Look, a man of the people with goldfish, but suddenly a condescending
Well, goldfish are a
snob.
little more, refined?
Refined?
Adult than
Oh,
Teddy Grahams?
I disagree.
Okay. Hey, this entry, Amy, probably should fall under our segment, Did You Smell This? But you may have noticed early this morning a General Funk, reporting for duty, General Funk.
Is he the replacement for Major Garrett?
Yes. If we don't get Major Garrett, if he stiffs us, we get General Funk. An odd smell in the St. Louis area. If you thought that you were smelling something, well, it was strong enough that it caught the attention of the National Weather Service, who tells Fox 2, our partner, that they are aware of a slight stink in the air that began in the morning and lingered through the afternoon yesterday and into this morning. And the culprit appears to be a light breeze carrying farm smells across the region. Okay.
Oh my gosh, oh,
So farmers have to wait until later in the year when the temperatures are around 50 degrees to lay liquid slurry on fields.
Oh my gosh.
So that the fields have the proper nutrients. Well, that's probably what you're smelling.
The liquid slurry, and we all know what kind of slurry that is, right?
Well, yeah, I know what that is. Yeah. Oh, come on. Come on, man. This is a show for adults. Hey, did you see the story about the Brentwood Promenade security guard? His name is Mario Gillette, and he may have, according to reports, victimized multiple women.
Oh. Like
this is what he did. This is actually kind of
there at the Brentwood Promenade?
The Brentwood Police Department say that Mario Gillette is charged with resisting arrest and 3 counts of assault and may have victimized other women. They are asking people to come forward. According to court documents, 2 women contacted the police saying that he, dressed in his security guard uniform, approached them and began talking about their shoes, which led to him eventually, quote, fondling and kissing the women's feet.
Okay.
Then he tried to flee as an officer came to arrest him. He punched one of the officers in the face. He was quickly detained afterwards.
I feel like there's a huge plot hole.
There's a huge gap. There's
between nice shoes
and now I'm fondling and kissing your feet.
Because what did the women think was happening? Like, here's the thing, because you never victim blame, but like if someone complimented your shoes, did they take off their shoes and socks and then sit down?
I have
no
no
idea.
idea.
Because to be completely honest,
right.
that's the hardest part to fondle.
There are a lot of holes in this story.
Like
I don't know.
If you're walking around a store, pretty much every body part's available except for the bottom of your feet.
Gillette did admit to police that he, quote, likes feet.
Well.
Not as much as David Neal. Remember David Neal?
Come on. Don't bring up this story.
David Neal, who was a manager of a hotel in Nashville, Tennessee, who woke up one of his guests by sucking on that guest's toes in the middle of the night.
The guest woke up in the middle of the night. It's like, ew, what is this?
Yes.
And it was the manager
It was
sucking on his toes.
It happened at 5 a.m., March 30th of 2023.
This is a horrible
at the Hilton Hotel on 4th Avenue in Nashville.
If you're like Marriott or another hotel chain, how do you not just be like, Marriott, we won't suck your toes?
I don't know. That's awesome.
Disgusting.
It's not awesome. It's don't do that.
Can I
It's
just
really
ask you,
gross.
where did the fondling of the feet take place? Was it at the store? At a store there?
It doesn't say.
It just
the
says
story does not
basically
say.
the Brentwood Promenade security officer, but we don't know where it happened.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were like walking around, maybe?
I have no idea.
Because it's just, you have to be sitting down, probably.
Anyway, you got to really like feet to do that. I hate feet. I don't get it. I don't get the attachment to feet. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Jimmy O'Brien is joining us next, and you know Jimmy as John Boy. He does all of the baseball videos, the breakdowns of ejections, and he does some outstanding lip reading. Well, he is joining us next when we come back on KMOX.
This is Ari Azim, founder at Tax Hardship Center. I'm here with Michael. Michael, tell us your story.
I've been having issues with the IRS for years now with my construction business. They've been filing my returns for me because I didn't file them on time. Was always behind with my bookkeeping. The IRS started sending me certified letters saying I owed six-figure amounts for each year.
So the IRS filed your returns for you. When you put all the letters together and added up the final balance, what did they claim you owe them in total?
It added up to $382,000. We were at a complete loss of what to do.
Mark worked on your case and he did a settlement. What did you settle for?
We settled for $2,100. We were blown away by that outcome. Now I'm back in the construction business. Thank you so much.
That's amazing. I really appreciate you coming on and telling us your story. I hope you'd recommend us.
I would highly recommend Tax Hardship Center to everyone owing IRS tax debt. And don't wait to call. It'll change your life.
If you owe the IRS, give us a call and be our next great story. 800-240-5244. Again, that's Tax Hardship Center at 800-240-5244.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This could be your final opportunity to secure the carefree villa home of your dreams at the Preserve in Afton. Free from the hassles of lawn care, landscaping, and snow removal. With prices starting in the 400s, we will build to order or select from one of our 6 move-in ready designer market homes and save thousands. And also receive $10,000 cash to close from the skilled craftsmen of the Mid-America Carpenters Union. For closing costs or bite on your interest rate, visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. Join me and my co-host Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners for the Business of Family Business Saturdays at 2.
Join us. We interview many St. Louis business owners and families and learn a lot and have a good time.
So many interesting stories of passing a business along to the next generation or not, and some great tips as well. It's the Business of Family Business here on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX, Saturdays at 2.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 60 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. In the news, Boeing machinists rejected the company's latest contract offer. The striking workers voted by 64% to reject the proposal and continue their nearly 6-week strike. John Holden, president of the Machinists Union, says the lack of a pension plan was a sticking point. Boeing worker Natalie Anderson agrees.
I would love to have my pension back. I really am, I'm bitter about it. We're all bitter about it. It felt like, they stabbed us.
This week, Boeing announced a quarterly loss of more than $6 billion. The CDC now recommending a second dose of the latest COVID-19 vaccine for people 65 years and older, as well as for people who are moderately or severely immunocompromised. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder explains why.
The vast majority of COVID deaths we see today are among older people. So it's quite reasonable to be boosting older people at least twice a year or even 3 to 4 times a year, since the boost only lasts them about 3 months, especially older people living in nursing homes.
2 years ago today, a student and teacher lost their lives in the CVPA shootings.
15-year-old Alexandria Bell and 61-year-old Jean Kushka will be remembered at a prayer vigil tonight in Shaw. The St. Margaret of Scotland Church will hold the vigil starting at 7. That'll be followed by the monthly Gun Sense team meeting. Parts of the church will also be available for quiet individual prayer. Church officials say all are welcome. Scott Jagal, KMOX News.
A man accused of murdering his girlfriend Saturday, then setting her on fire, is now in custody.
Police say 21-year-old Xavion Mills was taken into custody this morning in Wentzville. He was charged with murder Tuesday. Court documents have graphic details saying he was caught on video slitting the woman's throat, then burning her body with an aerosol can in an empty lot in the Baden neighborhood. Police have identified the woman as 21-year-old Kaya Holt Briggs of Granite City, Illinois. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
From the KMOX business desk, automatic emergency braking systems on new vehicles are 50% better at reducing crashes at up to 35 miles an hour when compared to vehicles as old as 2017 models. That's according to new research from AAA. Researchers found that such safety systems in 2024 cars and trucks avoided 100% of those forward collisions. Greg Brannon is AAA's Director of Automotive Engineering Research.
It was quite a big contrast with all of the current model year vehicles avoiding a collision entirely up to 35 miles an hour.
On the downside, Brannon says current automatic emergency braking systems in vehicles are not at all effective at night. The Dow from Stifel this hour down 239 points at 42,275. The S&P 500 up a fraction of a point at 5,798. The roads look fairly quiet this hour. Let's get a check of the forecast now. It's sponsored by Fast Eddie's or by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
KMOX AccuWeather. Nice weather today with plenty of sunshine and a high of 75. Tonight will turn cloudy and remain warm with a low of 64. A shower or two around late tonight into tomorrow morning. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun tomorrow, high 73. Mostly sunny on Saturday, but cooler, high 66. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
63 degrees now in Florissant. It's 60 in St. Peters and sunny 61 downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
In the 70s, baseball player Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air, and Electrical.
And electrical.
JerryKelly.com. The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by St. Louis University Billikens Basketball. Choose your seats for 5 or more games and receive savings off the single game ticket price with a 5-game mini pack starting at $75. Purchase now at slubillikens.com.
That one's low. No, that's a strike. Batter's like this. Umpire looks at the manager like, got something to say about that one? Ollie's like, no, but yes, that one is a ball. Marmal's going to come get his money's worth. Says 0 for 3, whole game. You think you're somebody? You just got here. You just got here.
That's the voice of John Boy. You have probably seen his videos if you've been on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, or wherever, for about the last 7 years of really great viral breakdowns of arguments, primarily arguments in baseball. And they're always very entertaining. And this guy does a really good job of lip reading as well. His name is Jimmy O'Brien. He is the founder of John Boy Media, which really has exploded in the last several years. John Boy happens to be a Yankees fan, so he's very excited about the series that gets started tomorrow against the Dodgers. Also, he has another venture called Warehouse Games, which is, well, we'll have him explain it to you, but Blitzball Battle 5 is premiering November 5th on YouTube, and he'll tell us about all of that on the Quiver River Electric guest line. John Boy is with us on KMOX. Jimmy, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me.
It's great to have you. And we're just kind of looking back on your career here, which has exploded over the course of 7 years. And I can't remember the exact first video I saw of yours breaking down an argument, but it was one of the most entertaining things I had seen up until that point. What made you want to start doing that, to making those videos?
Well, thank you very much. I started covering baseball and covering the Yankees, and then I would make little videos like that during Yankees games because I knew the Yankees very well. And then in 2019, I expanded to just do the whole league and started doing more of the lip reading, which I didn't realize was something I could do that was rare. So once I realized, not everyone can just kind of understand what they're saying on mute, and I have the ability to do that. I started sharing it, and they're my little projects of explaining baseball to people that don't watch it a lot, people that love baseball, showcasing the nuances and the wildness of manager ejections. It's the only sport that really allows itself to have grown men just scream at each other constantly.
Yeah, and it's so interesting with the lip reading because like I said, it's been a while since I saw the first John Boy Media lip reading clip, and I remember thinking, like, is he making this up? Is this real? Wait, I think this isn't a joke. I think this is serious. And obviously, then it just it became a staple to go to your videos. And I guess with discovering that you can lip read, what's your certainty that you're reading the words correctly? Is it like, oh no, I know what he's saying? Is it like a 99%? Have you ever had a manager come contact you and say, that's not what I said?
Yeah, that's a great question because I do kind of have a little key that I tell people, but it's never, the videos don't come with it. But if I put the subtitles, the words on the screen, that means I think I'm around 99% certain or 95% certain that that's what they said and I got it correctly. If the words aren't on the screen, I'm either guessing or I'm using that avenue to make a joke and say something silly. But if I put the words on, that is my way of telling the viewer, like, I legitimately believe that this is what they were saying and I read their lips correctly. And I've had a lot of managers and players get asked about if I got it close or if I was correct. And I've never had someone say no.
Wow.
They always say, yeah. But also they're in the heat of the moment. So I think sometimes they don't remember exactly what they say. So if I, mess up a word here or there, the sentiment is usually very true to what they were trying to say.
Well, and that's the thing with the virality of your videos, that it's such a genius thing that you were able to find the intersection of this skill and the medium of social media, because we all love when players are mic'd up, but they of course know they're mic'd up. And then we've all said, like, oh man, don't you wish you could be a fly on a wall, or don't you wish you could be down there hearing what they're talking about? And everyone speculates. You've combined those two things. You're like miking up a manager or a player when they're not necessarily wanting to be mic'd up. It gives you that feeling of access.
Yeah, and I think what it does is it humanizes it, because when we are left to our own assumptions, we either think they're saying, the dumbest things in the world or the smartest things in the world. Like they are articulating the argument perfectly. And a lot of times they're not. It's the same as when you get in a fight with your friend and you're just kind of stuck on the same sentence or stuck on the same word, or, they're yelling at each other, but not even hearing what each other is saying. So it brings out the humor. And I think that humanizes the managers and the umpires a little bit when you're able to see, like, oh, that's what they were saying.
We're talking about John Boy now on KMOX, and I'm guessing that the Astros trash can cheating videos, those were your really when things took off for you, right? Breaking down all of those during the whole cheating scandal.
We had some really big ones earlier in 2018, 2019. Like Aaron Boone had Savages in the Box. That was a big moment that I got to put out there. But yeah, as far as the Astros one, that story was just bigger than baseball. It was bigger than sports. It became, news to my aunt who does not follow baseball or sports in general. Like, it found its way onto her algorithm. So that story was just so big. And I was lucky to be able to do what I do and make a video covering it, which then went as big as the story did.
What's your favorite breakdown that you've ever done?
That's always so tough because I've done over 1,000, but my favorite one from this year would be the Marlins manager got ejected. Well, actually, no. The Marlins manager thought he got ejected, but the umpire actually ejected anyone in the dugout because he wasn't sure who yelled. So he just ejected someone, and the manager said, who? And he said, anyone in the dugout, you choose. And the manager was blown away. Like, that's allowed? What are you talking about?
I didn't know that was allowed.
I don't know if it is.
I don't think it is.
But as I was making that and reading the lips, I just kept laughing to myself, being like, oh my God, especially because it wasn't out there. No one knew that that's how it happened. And that's when it went down. So when I was able to start reading the lips and piecing it together, I'm like, well, this is incredible.
That's awesome. I was going to ask about that. Yeah, like just being shocked by what you were reading them saying and thinking, I cannot believe this is what they're doing. You were a wedding videographer before this, right? For several years?
Yeah, after college, I would, I had the video camera and video editing skills, and I wanted to keep the ability to have a hobby and grow my passion. So wedding videography allowed me to, make some money, but not kill the dream.
So
That's awesome.
this is better, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's going well.
You don't have any bridezillas coming after you. Jimmy O'Brien, the founder of John Boy Media, is with us. As I mentioned off the top, you are a Yankees fan. You mentioned that you started by breaking down Yankees games. So what are you thinking about this series, which gets started tomorrow, and tickets are $1,000 at the least?
Yeah, well, there's two different parts of it. My baseball brain and just general fandom of the sport, and having a company in the industry, I'm very, very excited because you have the Dodgers and the Yankees. This should be huge for the sport and for the popularity of the sport and for the two teams. And I think people that don't tune in a lot will have a lot to chew on and turn on a game and get hooked on the names and the faces and the big stars. But then there's the Yankee fan part of me, and this either ends with, happy tears or sad tears. So there's a lot of nerves that are about to swell up come tomorrow.
Oh, I can only imagine. And okay, so you're a baseball fan, obviously a huge Yankees fan. Were you ever worried that posting these videos with these otherwise private, unknown, not private, but, unknown conversations would put you kind of like on the bad side of Major League Baseball teams or players?
Yeah, I try to always keep the tone conversational and fun. Like, I'm not trying to ever put a target on anyone's back. And yeah, obviously they're trying to have private conversations and I'm interrupting that. So I understand it. But I think meeting a lot of players and a lot of managers now, and them all telling me they love it and they're laughing at themselves. And a lot of times when I do a manager, the players or his fellow coaches bring it to him to kind of poke fun at him. So that's where I'm trying to come from as well. And if I think there's something out there, and it's only happened once or twice where I read the lips and I said, I think that gets them in trouble. I'm not really looking to do that. And I'm not trying to make someone have to answer questions from the media about what I lip read or put out there. So, yeah, it's always on the mind. I think it's a good thing it's on the mind because that's not the intention. Intention is just to have fun and share some of the inside scoop with the public that might not know what's happening otherwise.
Jimmy, just to go along with that, was there a moment for you where you kind of realized that you were a pretty big player in sports media, and when anytime teams know who you are or leagues know about you and the kind of work you do, that means that you've made it in that regard. Do you recall a moment where you knew that?
Yeah, the first times in 2018, 2019, when I was told like some of the Yankees were watching the videos or following along, there's been some big name actors or celebrities that are baseball fans that will then reach out and say they love the content. And it always blows my mind. I've learned now to never underestimate who's watching. Everyone's got social media and everyone enjoys, perusing Instagram or Twitter. So it still blows me away sometimes.
So you were able to, with all of this success, to start up Warehouse Games, which is a really fun series that's on YouTube, and premiering on November 5th on YouTube is Blitzball Battle 5. Tell people about it.
I think we moved it to November 4th, but yes.
Okay.
Warehouse Games is my baby. It's reality show meets backyard sports with your friends, where you create the rules based on the environment. So we have this warehouse which creates funky rules, and there's pros versus Joes aspect of it. We have players that were in the big leagues, have 100 and over 100 MLB home runs, and they're playing blitzball, which is a faster version of wiffle ball, against me, someone who got cut from the JV high school team, and competing. And there's silly drama. We have professional play-by-play and commentary and sideline reporters. So it's like this ridiculous world that we've dolled up with professional broadcasts, and there's crazy storylines and redemption arcs which I'm currently on. My team, we're in need of a big redemption arc this tournament. So it was something we were able to do and build, and then ultimately we've sold distribution nationally, so it's on TV as well as YouTube, and very proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you don't need to really enjoy sports to tune in. They're quick games and fun, and it's a really engaging and fun community if you want to check it out and look at the live chat, and it's a really good time.
Yeah, it's literally a kind of a dream that what you would do when you're a kid, just inventing sports in a basement or something. And like, wouldn't it be great if there was a play-by-play announcer for all of this? That's exactly what it is, but for adults. I think it's very, very cool. It's called Warehouse Games. Again, I'm looking at it on YouTube right now. You can find it on TikTok as well. Blitzball Battle 5 starts November 4th. Probably a good idea to not go up against the election. So there you go. November 4th, the day before the election, you can watch Blitzball Battle 5 Warehouse Games. Find it on YouTube. And Jimmy O'Brien is John Boy. He is on Twitter at John Boy. It was really good to talk to you. Thank you for giving us time today, and good luck to your Yankees tomorrow.
Thank you guys very much.
Jimmy O'Brien, founder of John Boy Media. Again, he does all the baseball breakdowns. I guarantee you've seen a few of them.
If you're
He's
on
done
Twitter,
a few Cardinals breakdowns.
If you're on Twitter, you've seen them. It's impossible not to. People are retweeting them. It's a lot of fun.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 biggest newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Here's Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith asking you to vote yes on 2.
Back in my day, I was the wizard of the infield. Now, I'm a grandfather. That's why I'm voting yes on Amendment 2. It means over $100 million for Missouri schools and teachers, and no more broken promises. There's a constitutional guarantee that the money goes to our schools, and legalizing sports betting is great for us fans too. That's why the Royals, Chiefs, Blues, and Cardinals all join me in saying yes on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Life can throw us curveballs, like the car accident that put me in a coma 30 years ago. We all have bumps in the road. Lucky for us, we have Renner to get our garage door back on track. Click RENNER door STL.com today. Giddy up!
We have over $34 trillion in national debt. Where do you think the money to pay for that is going to come from? Taxes. Believe it or not, taxes are at historic lows right now, but how much longer will that last? A Roth IRA conversion might be a good option when planning for your retirement because you can pay lower taxes now and avoid potentially higher taxes later. The FIRA Capital Management Team, formerly Heisey Advisory Group, have seen taxes rise and fall. They know what options you have to potentially reduce the amount of taxes you pay in retirement. Call the team at FIRA Capital Management and schedule your tax analysis today. 314-328-4400. Uncle Sam needs money. Don't let him take it all from you. 314-328-4400. Investing involves risk. Always consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding a Roth conversion, as there may be additional tax considerations. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
It's that time again, where we choose who we think is the best candidate for office. It's a difficult decision that requires the evaluation of contenders. Do they have the appropriate skills and experience for this office? Are they the right type of leader? Do they have a clear vision? Selecting the right candidate is no easy feat. That's why, for your office, there's ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes choosing the right candidate for any office easy because they only find and send you the most qualified people for your roles. Best of all, they do it fast. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, while you're thinking about that really big decision, rest assured that any other hiring decision will be much easier when you use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Natural disasters happen every year.
fires, hurricanes, tornadoes. And with that, your most important moments recorded on VHS, camcorder tapes, and 8mm could all be gone in an instant. Cherished moments like your wedding, baby's first steps, family trips to Yellowstone, lost. Enter Legacy Box. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box protects your irreplaceable memories from the threat of natural disaster by digitally preserving them onto thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, so they're safe forever. Legacy Box is the safest and easiest way to preserve your past, which is why it's been trusted by over 1 million families. Send Legacy Box your home movies, photos, and film. Their team of trained professionals will do the rest right here in the U.S. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering radio listeners an incredible 50% off. Go to legacybox.com/value and save 50% when you digitize your memories. That's legacybox.com/value.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Stay connected with the heartbeat of St. Louis. KMOX News, bringing you the stories that matter most. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
NFL, everybody's trending. Like some of the newer stadiums are putting in the LED. Some of the newer stadiums don't have the LED, and they're putting in the LED. So and the turf is now up to the same turf as some of the top places across the country.
That is St. Louis Battlehawks head coach Anthony Becht yesterday as the Dome. I almost called it the Trans World Dome.
Aw.
It hasn't been that for how long?
It
the
hasn't
Edward
been
Jones
that in a
Dome.
while.
The Dome at America Center. It is it's got a fresh look to it now on the inside. Amy, yesterday they revealed or unveiled, I don't know which one's right, the brand new turf. There's a new turf. Remember that ugly, dirty, dingy turf that they've been using since the Rams before they left town?
Oh, yeah. It's
That
like an old, worn
horrible-
out carpet in an old house.
Oh, God. No, you know what it was like? It was like the carpet in the student housing apartments that I
Ew.
remember from
You know what?
college.
I visited those. That's exactly what it is.
That is what it felt like.
Ugh.
Well, they unveiled a brand new, beautiful green turf
It looks
at the Dome
amazing.
yesterday. It does. And our reporter, Sean Malone from the KMOX newsroom, he was there to see it all. So if you want, if you want images, you want videos, you can follow Sean Malone on Twitter at smalone27. And he posted some really good stuff. It looks good.
It looks great. And new LED lights.
Yes.
And again, go to at @smalone27 on Twitter to see the videos and the pictures. It looks great. And especially he includes on that thread the comparison with the old field.
Mhm.
That looks it looks like when you take a picture and it's washed out, like the light washes it out so the colors aren't vibrant, they're just completely faded. That's what it looks like. The old field.
I will be very curious to see it from myself from the inside and see if those LED lights brighten up the place at all.
Mhm.
Because it did feel, and I've been to several Battlehawks games over the last couple of years, and I went to games prior to the pandemic starting, and it was, it felt like a building that was not kept up all that well. And it's like, oh, hey, this building's open. You want to play football? You can use it. It has that feeling,
Yeah.
right? And I'm wondering, it just felt really dingy and kind of dark inside. Hopefully the field, just based on the videos and the photos that we're looking at, it looks a whole lot better. But I'll be curious to see what it looks like in person.
It looks really good. I also have another area update. In Missouri, the Missouri Department of Revenue is going to activate new equipment at DMVs that are going to, quote, reduce the aggravation, speed up lines, and get all of its systems talking to one another. So they're rolling it out in early November. And what it's going to help do is reduce those long wait times at the DMV, which is the absolute worst, where you're just sitting there and there's like one guy behind an old computer. And every few minutes, he's like, number 71. And you're like 104 and you know it's never going to happen. So there's going to be, for instance, a tablet that will let license applicants check their information for errors while they're also adding approximately 175 new workstations at the 275 license offices. So you're going to be able to like do some things online and then also have more workstations at each DMV office.
Just from a general perspective, it just seems like a lot of Missouri things when it comes to vehicles were not very streamlined for a long time. The process of getting, your car and then your license plate and your registration and all that used to be such a problem. You have to go do it separately. And then instead of just getting it all done at once, where they're using something like 80 different systems for the DMV
They're
instead
like privately
of one.
owned. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Also,
just not efficient.
Great news. If you lose your driver's license or it's damaged, drivers will be able to obtain a new license online. So you don't have to go in if you lose your license, and drivers between 21 and 49 years old will be able to renew their licenses online every other renewal period, meaning 12 years between trips to the DMV.
The World Series gets started tomorrow. The Cardinals made a couple of moves earlier in the week in terms of the front office and the coaching staff. A lot of baseball, a lot of other stuff, football this weekend as well. We're going to talk all of those things over with Bernie Miklasz, who is part of KMOX once again. And Bernie joins us next on the Chris and Amy Show.
The Roots and Boots Tour 90s Electric Throwdown with Sammy Kershaw. That's my story. Colin Ray. Oh, that's my story. And Aaron Tippett. Saturday, November 9th at the Family Arena.
There ain't nothing wrong.
Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture Box Office, located at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster. Roots and Boots Tour 90s Electric Throwdown. Step into a world of enchantment this holiday season with Cirque Musica Holiday Wonderland. From awe-inspiring acrobatics to gravity-defying aerial feats, it's the perfect fusion of circus artistry and beloved holiday songs in a celebration guaranteed to create memories for the entire family. December 5th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. On sale at the Carroll House Furniture Box Office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Inspire your holiday spirit with Cirque Musica Holiday Wonderland.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
We have sunny skies, 63 degrees at 11:30. I'm Megan Lynch. Here's what we're following. The U.S. has confirmed North Korean soldiers are in Russia, but there are concerning reports about how many. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick reports.
The White House says as many as 3,000 North Korean troops may be training in Russia. Ukraine's military intelligence indicates that number is closer to 12,000, including officers and 3 generals. It still isn't clear whether Moscow plans to use those troops in Ukraine, but South Korea now says if that happens, it will review its stance on providing weapons to Ukraine. It currently does not.
In KMOX News at noon, families mark 2 years since a deadly St. Louis school shooting. We do have one traffic note for you this hour. We are seeing a big backup on 94 north of 70. That is due to traffic, apparently from early voting. A forecast is sponsored by Fast Eddie's Bon Air. Pleasant, plenty of sunshine for the rest of your day. We're expecting a high of 75 degrees. Cloudy and warm tonight with an overnight low of 64. And we could have a shower or two late tonight into tomorrow morning. Right now we have sunny skies, 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. Head over to Fast Eddie's Bon Air on 1530 East 4th Street in Alton for the great food and entertainment, the home of the Big Elwood on a Stick, the Big Fat Eddie Burger, and the world-famous Peel and Eat Shrimp. Fast Eddie's in Alton, Illinois. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty reminding you why pay more than 4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many markets' ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441 all fours. And remember, why pay more than 4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
California Psychics is the real deal. They helped me out, totally changed my attitude, totally got me psyched to start my business and take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us, so we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Can't make it to Kansas City for the big game? No problem.
Kelsey, 3-point stance to the left. Here comes an inside blitz.
Experience every Kansas City Chiefs game like you're in the front row at Ballpark Village.
25-20, downfield block, 10-5.
Join fellow KMOX Chief fans on game day and feel the roar of the crowd right here in St. Louis.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
Chiefs watch parties presented by Jim Beam. Bernie Nicholas gets the final word during Sports on a Sunday morning, this Sunday at 11:45 on KMOX.
It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX, and the Bernie Nicholas Report brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. We go to the guest line again today. We do it every Tuesday and Thursday. Right after the 11:30 news, we bring in Bernie Nicholas, sports icon here in the city of St. Louis, and he joins us on KMOX. Good morning, Bernie.
Good morning. As always, I love being with you. How's everything going?
Oh, we're doing okay over here today. We just talked to John Boy for a few moments, talking a little bit about the Yankees-Dodgers series, which gets started tomorrow. And before we get to Blues stuff, which we definitely will do here because there has been some news this week, you must be ready for baseball. To have this long layoff between the LCS series and the World Series, been a little much.
I'm a little bit, but I like the fact that at least gives both of these pitching staffs going into it, they're nothing but fresh arms. So no one will be at a disadvantage that way. I mean, everyone's starting from the same place as far as rest for their pitchers. And I think it's going to, pitching obviously is going to be really, really important. And the one thing about the Yankees and the Dodgers, there are some similarities other than the very high payroll. Both of these teams do an incredible job of making pitchers work really, really, really hard. Like if you look at the number of pitches per plate appearance, both of these teams, they grind away, and they just wear pitchers out. And if you look at how many walks the Yankees draw and the Dodgers draw a lot of walks. So this is going to be a really interesting game within the game. Which one of these lineups can become impatient and get out of character? Can one of these pitching staffs get the other side to maybe get away from what they do best? And of course, to say the least, the Yankees going to have to cool off, Mookie Betts and Ohtani and some other guys that have just been on fire. And then you got the big three in New York, and the Dodgers are going to have to do something about Soto and Judge and Stanton. So I love the matchup. And, one thing to look at, I know I'm just sort of giving you a lot here, but another thing to look at is the Dodgers have basically the best base running team in the majors, and the Yankees are the worst base running team in the majors. So if it gets down to those late inning situations and the game's up for grabs, of course the bullpens will be huge in that battle. But I think the Dodgers have more ways to score runs than the Yankees because their base running so excellent.
Bernie, when we talk about managers and what influence managers have over the course of a season, obviously at the end of the day, players have to play. But in a World Series like this, with just two teams loaded with superstars, how much will the managers, Dave Roberts for the Dodgers, Aaron Boone for the Yankees, matter? More than the regular season? Less? The same?
Boy, that's a tough question. It's a really good question. It's just a tough answer because in the postseason, like I like to refer to them, there's so many lightning strikes. Like a manager can make a really good move. It's like, well, he's bringing this reliever in. And yeah, that's exactly what he should do. But then someone unexpectedly hits a home run and it changes everything. I just think both of these managers have done a good job of giving their team their best chance to win. I think they use their personnel really well. I think Dave Roberts is probably at a disadvantage because he has had to lean on his bullpen a lot more than the Yankees have. And sometimes that just requires luck. And here's what I mean by that. Again, you can make the right decisions on the ride with your bullpen and how many guys. And at times, every single guy is like on the money. Other times, as we've seen for the Dodgers, when they have to go to a bullpen game, it kind of blows up a little bit. So it's these games within a game that I find interesting. And I think that I would doubt that any one of these managers will really screw anything up in a terrible way. Now, managers always get blamed when a move doesn't work. But that's one thing I learned from Whitey Herzog and Tony La Russa. You can make the right move. It is absolutely the right move to make, but it doesn't mean you're going to get the results you want because you know what? You got human beings out there playing.
The Dodgers tomorrow are going to honor Fernando Valenzuela, who passed away this week. And Fernando played for a short period of time with the Cardinals in 1990. And that's a big loss for baseball, Bernie, because I know you've been following the sport a long time, and he was a huge deal, especially in the 80s.
It's almost hard to describe him because he was so unique because this was an excellent pitcher and he had longevity and he was colorful. He was emotional. He made it very entertaining to watch his starts, but he was also an excellent starter for a long period of time. Like, listen, there have been pitchers that have come along and I'm not putting him down. But like Mark Fidrich was the big sensation. Remember the Bird? I mean, the nation was going nuts over him. He was a young pitcher with the Tigers, and he was about as entertaining as it could get. But his career didn't last very long. Venezuela kept going and going and going, and he pitched at a high level and also managed to be a great source of entertainment for how many years are we talking about? 17 years, and most of them were really good. Of course, he ran out of gas towards the end. But yeah, it's a terrible loss, and I know that he is treasured by the Dodgers franchise and treasured by not only Dodgers fans, but that entire Southern California region.
Bernie, a big loss for the Blues in Robert Thomas, who has a fractured ankle, announced yesterday that he'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks. And I mean, the good news is there are other skaters who've been stepping up this year. But in your mind, what do you make of this injury with the lineup? What do you hope to see come out of it?
Well, this is obviously a huge loss, and nobody needs me to say that. It's an obvious thing. But for a moment, let's just take a moment to talk about all the things that Robert Thomas does for the Blues. He's a really good player. We all know he's a great passer. He's an excellent assist man, but he's your number one center. He's on your top power play. He spends a lot of quality minutes on the penalty kill. He wins 63% of the faceoffs. And the part that maybe gets overlooked a little, Robert Thomas has played 34% of the available minutes in all the Blues games. Now, that's number one on the Blues, and there's only 8 forwards in the NHL who have played a higher percentage of minutes that were available. So his presence has been constant. He's on the ice all the time, and he's working every aspect of the game. Neutral zone faceoffs, offensive zone faceoffs, defensive zone faceoffs, running the power play, helping to kill penalties, centering the top line, making his teammates better. And here's a stat that concerns me. Robert Thomas has the number 3 best faceoff percentage in the NHL so far, 63%. The other Blues that have taken faceoff, their faceoff win rate is 46%. That is a huge loss just to not have him in the faceoff circle. Because that kick starts their offense. And listen, they're really, as everybody knows, they're really challenged offensively with him. So it's really going to be tougher without him because of all that he does and just winning those faceoffs. But they're just going to have to do a great job of suppressing goals. They're fortunate in that they have 2 excellent goaltenders, and they're fortunate that since the start of the last season, all strengths, the Blues are like 5th in the league in save percentage because of these 2, and they can win low-scoring games. So it's going to be really imperative for them to play a really tight game defensively, because I don't think they're going to be winning many 6-5, 7-6, 8-4 games without Robert Thomas.
Well, tonight they will play in Toronto, and they are going to see their once head coach Craig Berube, who is now with the Maple Leafs. So this is a matchup with some intrigue tonight.
It is. I'm looking forward to watching this one, and I'm gonna make my rounds in terms of I got to look at the Toronto newspaper / digital sites just to see if they're trying to fire the coach yet. Because up there, if the Maple Leafs have a bad week or something, it's like they start talking about coaching changes. So I'm being facetious, but there's a little bit of element of truth in that too.
Oh no, and cities like Montreal and Toronto, they literally have their own hockey version of TMZ where they follow, they follow every player, every coach. Remember in Montreal when it's like a rule, you have to have a French-speaking coach, and they hired a coach who didn't speak French, and they rioted in the streets. And they were like, we got to go back to Claude Julien. And Marc Bergevin, the GM of the Montreal Canadiens, he literally has hid behind a plant, carried some shrubbery to hide behind when he goes in and out of buildings. You're not joking. It is next level.
It really is. And, Carlo Coviacolo, I always mispronounce his name, even when he was a defenseman here. I butcher it every time. But Carlo does a great talk show in the mornings up in Toronto, and I used to have him on my show quite a bit, and we would always laugh about just how insane it is.
Yeah.
It's just totally insane. No one gets any peace, and so I see Toronto's 4-3, and they're behind Ottawa in the stand. I would say the coach is on the hot seat. Not really, but up there, you never know. Obviously, he's not.
They're kind of always I think that they're always on the hot seat. There's not a lot of grace given.
That's right. So but it'll be a fun game, and we'll see. The Blues are going to have to play a really good defensive style. I mean, that's the only way out of this. And real quick, and I don't want to take up too much time, but what do you guys think about? Do you think we will see Dvorsky up here in time? Because Tom is going to be out a long time. Dvorsky's a really talented centerman, really talented prospect. They want him to get experience. I get it. But do you think we'll see him? What's your prediction?
Oh, that's a good question. If we do, I mean, I would say before a game or two. I don't think they would do a long term where he's no longer a rookie. What's that number of games that they play? 9 or 11 where they lose?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what
they
that is.
lose their rookie status. I don't think he'll do that because Oscar Sundqvist makes his return to the lineup tonight too.
It'd be good to see him. That guy, you talk about being held together by baling wire and tape and crazy glue and everything else. I don't know how he still plays hockey. He's kind of like the Conrad Dobler of the NHL. Because remember Conrad Dobler, God rest his soul, Conrad Dobler, the old Big Red. He had something like 60 surgeries. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but he had. Well, he would tell me. I'd say when I'd go when I would see him and then see him again a year later or whatever. Well, how many surgeries did you have this year? Oh, I had 3. It's no big deal, Sonny reminds me of that type of thing. And I'm not laughing about it because obviously there's a lot of pain there, but he loves to play. He loves to compete. You just wind him up and set him out there and he'll give you everything he has.
He does. I always said if you could track Oscar Sundqvist on the ice, like if you had, ink on the bottom of his skates, it would look exactly like when you're testing out a pen and you scribble back and forth because he plays north-south hockey so hard. He just goes out there and I'm like, it would look exactly like you're just testing out a pen.
I like that. That's outstanding. I like that a lot. That's so accurate too. That's a good one.
Hey, real quick before we have you tell us about our friends at Saliga, it's Mizzou in Tuscaloosa this weekend. They've got Alabama. Both teams. Well, Alabama's ranked 15. Mizzou is 21, and then the Fighting Illini will take on the number 1 team in the country in Oregon on the road. So those are 2 really intriguing matchups.
Yeah, with Brady Cook, I don't know what they've said today, but he's doubtful. I'd be surprised if he plays. But even if he plays, he's going to be really limited in terms of his mobility, which is one of his big assets. And not having Nate Noel, the top running back, I just think that the worst thing that could happen to Mizzou, other than the injuries, was Alabama losing at Tennessee last week because that whole program is like full red alert, and they're playing at home, and they want to show that we're regrouping here. We're going to go out there and whomp somebody. And that's why Mizzou's a 16.5-point underdog. I don't know whether Mizzou will cover. I don't know how close it'll be, but I would be stunned if Mizzou wins this game, even though Alabama is vulnerable. I'll tell you what, real quick. The Illini are a ridiculous underdog, 21.5-point underdog, and they're ranked 20th, and they've played well against other ranked teams. And they have 2 NFL caliber wide receivers, and Luke Altmaier has been a heck of a quarterback. And let's see. If I were to wager $2 on this, I think I would take the Illini and the points. I don't think the Illini will win, but I think they'll cover if anybody cares about that part of it.
Some people do.
I think so.
Yeah. And by next year, we might all care about it. Hey, right. Tell us about Saliga.
Always a pleasure to do that. Dan Saliga is the 4th owner operator of this family business. Saliga Heating and Cooling is an independent American Standard heating air conditioning dealer. 1927, that's when they opened their doors. In fact, you talk about tradition, you talk about customs and longevity. They not only have been serving St. Louis community in generations since 1927, they're still in the same building where it all started, down on Gravois in 1927. I just love that. I'm a longtime customer and fan of Saliga and what they do. And just know that family pride is behind everything they do. They believe it's up to them to earn your trust and to earn your business. And every time you deal with them, you'll find out that they mean that. Their honesty and their straightforwardness and the fact that they say, well, someone will be there between this time and that time. They're prompt and they know your time is precious. And when they set a schedule, they're going to stick to it. So you can rely on them. They do all kinds of work, of course, residential, commercial, all makes and models. And one more thing, you should become a member of Saliga's Priority Club maintenance plan today. There's a lot of benefits. We're members of that club, and this American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer will make it easier for you to get quicker appointments. And also just these maintenance checks that they do, you'll be all set for the extreme weather, whether it be summer or winter. They'll make sure everything's working well before the real big weather comes in. It's Saliga Heating and Cooling, 314-481-7333, 481-7333, or go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
This year has flown by, and now you're planning to sell your home. Like you, most families have been waiting on the sidelines. Now the timing is better, but maybe you still have questions, right? This is Debbie Monterey for Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria Lou for years now because Gloria Lou is St. Louis's real estate expert. And if you have a home to sell, you need to get to know Gloria like I have. I've seen her systems, her guarantees. I've even met some of her clients. Gloria is different than any other realtor. If you need help selling for the most money, you need to call Gloria Lou. Here's another tip. If you have a home to sell in Crestwood, Shaw, Maplewood, or the Central West End, you absolutely must call Gloria Lou. Take it from me, Debbie Monterey, and call Gloria Lou at 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. Online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Trick or treat. Halloween is around the corner. Let's not use wishful thinking when it comes to safety. Beware and take care. Don't drink and drive. From your spooky friends at Odyssey and Onder Law Injury Lawyers.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. Join me and my co-host Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners for the Business of Family Business Saturdays at 2.
Join us. We interview many St. Louis business owners and families and learn a lot and have a good time.
So many interesting stories of passing a business along to the next generation or not, and some great tips as well. It's the Business of Family Business here on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX, Saturdays at 2.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
If you're looking to get a jump on the holidays and get yourself into a little bit better shape, get out to Supplement Superstores and ask them about the 213 Flashpoint Complex. While you're there, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll give you 20% off the 213 Flashpoint Complex. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
The Musial Awards return to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 23rd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event hosted right here in St. Louis. It's a night to be entertained and inspired. Tickets at musialawards.com.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Vira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
I'm Joe Pott. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Guess what's tomorrow, Amy?
It is our no prize football pick'em.
That's right.
And we need you, the listener.
Yes, we haven't. We will choose somebody by maybe tomorrow at some point. We'll choose somebody to participate. If you are available at 12:30 tomorrow and you want to make football picks, like you're probably just going to pick the Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
and
the Bears. Obviously.
Oh, you're going to pick the Bears. Certainly.
Obviously.
So what we do is we go through a handful of games and you pick the winner, and then whoever gets the most right wins for that week. And if you win, you get
win
nothing.
That's right.
Except you get to come back the next week.
What happens if someone, never mind, it's too dark. I was just going to say, what if someone, we pick them, like voting.
And then they die?
Yeah, before tomorrow.
Well,
I think they still
might
get
count.
to do it.
Yeah.
I think they still get to do it.
But if you are interested, we haven't selected anybody yet. If you want to get in on it tomorrow and you are available at 12:30 for about 10, 15 minutes, text us at 314-436-7900. If you haven't done it before, if you've already done it this year, then you can't do it again.
And our celebrity picker
is Alexa Dat from FanDuel Sports Network Midwest. It's a new network.
Rolls right off the tongue.
So you get to compete against Alexa Dat Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Again, 314-436-7900. Text us if you are interested. You can also send us a message on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX, or just tweet at us, whatever you want. Say, hey, I want to do it.
Hey.
And say it just like that.
We really, really are excited for you for this opportunity.
Could not be more excited, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, tomorrow the Bears are back at it.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs they're going to be
Is Caleb
7-0.
Williams hurt?
No, Jaden Daniels is hurt.
Oh, because it was going to be a rookie quarterback matchup.
It was going to be this huge matchup between these two great rookie quarterbacks.
You think Jaden Daniels is really hurt or just nervous?
Probably nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
I
I
would
can't.
be.
Yeah, I'd be nervous.
He's like, everything's going great for me now. I better not play against Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
You knew it. I'd be scared too if I were him. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
We interrupt with a special report from the Missouri Lottery. With a new millionaire every 8.1 days last year, there's no shortage of Missouri Lottery winners. However, there is currently a shortage of confetti. This may impact all confetti-related activities, hullabaloos, whoop-de-doos, jamborees, shebangs, and any and all festive goings-ons. Rest assured, Missouri Lottery winners will receive a single confetto with every big win for the time being. We apologize for the shortage, but not the winning. Thus concludes this report from the Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome. Play responsibly.
If you're thinking of getting new hardwood, carpet, laminate, or vinyl flooring at one of those big box or discount stores, put it on hold. As in Reinhold. Reinhold Flooring, covering St. Louis and beyond since 1988. Residential or builder, you'll find everything you need in our showroom on Telegraph. When it comes to investing in your home, you want the best in carpet, laminate, vinyl flooring, or area rugs. Put those others on hold with Reinhold Flooring. Stop by Telegraph Road or learn more at reinholdflooring.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
First time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of Fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed, free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote, 800-221-6319. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-221-6319. 800-221-6319 or go to oxcarcare.com.
At 12 noon, we have sunny skies, 64 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. A prayer vigil on this 2-year anniversary of the shootings at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School in St. Louis.
The St. Margaret of Scotland Church in Shaw will host the vigil tonight at 7 o'clock. The service is open to anyone wanting to prayerfully mark this somber occasion. Parts of the church will also be open for individual prayer. And the monthly Gun Sense team meeting will follow the vigil. On October 24th, 2022, a gunman entered the high school, killing 15-year-old student Alexandria Bell and 61-year-old teacher Jean Kushka. Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
Webster Groves officials are moving to beef up that city's gun laws. One of 3 bills would ban certain types of automatic weapons. A second bill would prohibit delivery of firearms to anyone under 18 without a guardian's consent. And a third, says City Attorney Neil Bruntrager, would regulate the possession of guns in certain places.
The state statutes do allow provisions where basically it allows you to say, look, you can't have weapons in public buildings. You can't have them in the courthouses, hospitals, bars, places like that. What we're doing now is designed to basically say in Webster Groves, we're going to enforce these rules.
Other nearby towns, including Creve Coeur and Maryland Heights, have already passed similar regulations. Pro-Palestinian protesters gathered outside the White House today to decry civilian casualties in Gaza. This woman named Summer was among the Palestinian Americans who turned out with signs and simulated sounds of airstrikes.
Palestinians are human beings, and they're not just numbers, they have names.
After the death of the leader of Hamas, ceasefire talks could be restarting soon to end the war in Gaza. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken, traveling through the region, said today Sinwar's death provides a new opportunity to bring the war in Gaza to an end.
What we really have to determine is whether Hamas is prepared to engage. And I believe that we'll be able to do that starting in the coming days.
While it isn't clear who would represent Hamas, Israel said today it will send a delegation to Doha for the expected talks.
From the KMOX business desk, Cash App is tracking what you eat from the emojis and expressions you use. CBS's Stacey Lynn reports.
If you use your phone to pay a friend for the pizza they ordered and throw a pizza slice emoji in the payment line, companies are using those emojis to track the latest dining trends. Cash App even did a whole report based on not only the emojis, but what we were paying people for the most. Espresso martinis showed an 89% rise in mentions this year alone. The phrase sweet little treat rose by 500%, and last year the term girl dinner was practically non-existent. This year, mentions were up 8,000%. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
The Dow from Stifel this hour up 183 points at 42,331. The S&P 500 up 9 points at 5,806. Checking the roads now, we've got a long-term ramp closure coming up Sunday night.
I'm Roger Brand. It's going to happen at 11:30 p.m., so it's almost Monday morning. But when it happens, they're going to be closing the exit ramp from northbound 270 on to Ladue. That ramp closure is going to last for 5 weeks. You can continue north on 270 to Olive and turn back around to go south 270. You can take Olive over to Ballas or even 64 to Ballas to get around that north 270 Ladue ramp closure.
The weather now, sponsored by Sachs Financial.
Wonderful blue skies and sunshine going through our Thursday afternoon. 74 for the high. Tonight, little front coming in, though it's a slow mover. There'll be some scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. 59 for the overnight low, quite warm. On Friday, a couple of scattered morning showers, then the sun comes back, 78 degrees. Northwest flow in place for the weekend. It's gorgeous. Sunny skies, nice. 66 for high temperatures Saturday and again on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We have sunny skies around the region, 65 degrees in Florissant, it's 63 in St. Peter's, and 64 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
When it comes to retirement, you don't need to worry or sweat the small stuff if you have Sachs Financial on your side. Sachs Financial, home of the Retirement Compensation Plan. SACHS, Sachs Financial, because income is the outcome that matters. RetireSafeSTL.com.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by St. Louis University Billikens Basketball. Choose your seats for 5 or more games and receive savings off the single game ticket price with a 5-game mini pack starting at $75. Purchase now at SLUBillikens.com.
What's today? It's Thursday. Really? Feels like Tuesday.
I disagree. It is and feels like a Thursday. As Amy Markscores likes to say, Thursday is the Friday of the weekdays.
That's right. It's true.
I agree with you. It does feel like once you get past this day, it's all downhill.
And on Friday, tomorrow at work, everyone, why don't you go ahead and make like an absentee ballot and mail it in?
Wow. Wow. I wish you had not. I wish you had not.
Hey, girl, are you an absentee ballot? Because you're really mailing it in today.
Dude, come on, man.
That's good
come on,
stuff.
Man.
That's good
come on,
material.
Man. I don't
That's
like.
quality,
I hate when the crickets come out. I hate
quality
crickets.
voting material.
So
voting comedy material.
On our Twitter poll,
Yeah.
at Chris Amy KMOX, you really should follow us so you get all kinds of great content. We have a Twitter poll up now, and the question is, how long are you willing to wait in line to vote? And you have 4 options: less than an hour, 1 hour or less, 2 hours or less, 3 hours or less, or no line would deter me. What is with you having to do the stereo thing? This has been a real thing for you.
I think it makes us feel more like a team,
Oh, okay.
like Sonny and Cher,
Oh, is that what it is?
Bert and Ernie. You know, the great couples of history.
The great couples. You should participate by following us and voting. I think I'm going to go ahead and give some results because it's been a while. The poll's been up and running for a while. And right now, with 51% of the vote, no line would deter me as the leader. So more than half the
Interesting.
people right now say that it does not matter how long the line is to vote. They're going to stand in it and finish. The next option, which is interesting, and I think I get it, is 1 hour or less. So 40% of people say 1 hour or less they'll wait, and then a little bit less than 9% are somewhere in the 2 or 3 hour range. So I think that makes sense, though, because you're either
In it.
in it, right? If you're willing to wait 3 hours, you're going to wait 8, right? So you're either in it or you want this to be quick. And that's pretty much it. We know that there have been long lines around Missouri over the last couple of days. We've heard from people texting into the show that they voted this morning or voted yesterday, and about an hour and a half is what it seems to be the typical response is. And I don't think that's that bad if you're doing early voting to wait an hour or so.
Especially at the beginning. Like, we know there's a big rush at the beginning. People are eager to vote early. They're eager to vote in general. That's why I think the first day was so crowded, at least the place where I went. And I kind of did it on a whim. I do think the later in the week, and then especially next week, the lines might go down a bit. Maybe there's a second wave, by people who realize, oh, you know what? I changed my mind.
Yeah.
At the very least, it's great that people are early voting because it does alleviate some of the pressure of November 5th. It helps the lines not be so long on Election Day.
Well, think about this. You have time.
Mhm.
And right now it's October 24th and it ends on November 4th. So you got quite a bit of time here, but a little over a week and a half before, to get your vote in. And I would recommend doing it again so that on Election Day, it doesn't take all that long. So, Amy, yesterday, President Trump, the former president, was in Georgia campaigning. We are in the final push for both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, who are making their case to the American public. And Tucker Carlson, everybody knows Tucker, was speaking prior to the former president coming out on stage. And he was talking about how essentially what he is saying is that the Americans have been misbehaving.
Yeah.
And he was trying to make the point that Donald Trump, if he gets reelected, when he gets back into office, is like this.
There has to be a point at which dad comes home. Yeah, that's right. Dad comes home. And he's pissed. Dad is pissed. He's not vengeful. He loves his children. Disobedient as they may be, he loves them. Because they're his children, they live in his house. But he's very disappointed in their behavior. And he's going to have to let them know. He's going to have to get to your room right now and think about what you did. And when dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. And no, it's not going to hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not going to lie. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. And you earned this. You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
Oh my
Lord.
gosh. What the actual hell? Tucker Carlson, You went from like daddy issues to being super kinky. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Was that Matt Gaetz speaking?
I mean,
that was weird.
Oh my gosh. And the crowd?
Dude, they were eating it up.
Are they on mushrooms? Are they what? Like this is
All right.
This is so disgusting and bizarre to me. That is not normal talk. That is not normal for politics. It's not normal for even like how we talk among friends. You think Trump is your daddy who's going to spank the country like a little girl? The whole thing is so creepy.
It's weird.
This guy needs therapy.
We have you know how I talk.
You're awful.
Yeah, I say bad words all the time, and we've kind of gone down this path this year, it seems like more than ever, of it's not vulgar to me because of how I use my words, right? When I'm off the air.
Mm-hmm.
I speak differently than on the air. You have Tim Walz using the word dipstick the other day, but he didn't say stick in a campaign speech to a crowd.
I think it's unbecoming
It's not great, but this is okay. I have multiple problems with this particular one. And the biggest problem is, I know he says within all of that he's not vengeful. He's talking about Donald Trump. Tucker's saying that he's not vengeful. Daddy's
Trump.
not vengeful. He's just pissed.
And he's pissed.
That's what he's saying. Okay. I don't agree with him. I think he's full of it because I do think Trump he's made it very clear while he's been campaigning over the last several months that he does want to get back at people he feels like have wronged him over the last several years. I think there is vengeance in his mind when he becomes president again. What does that mean he can actually do? I don't really know. But I think
we know there's vengeance. He said he wants to imprison political opponents.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he's petty. He is vengeful.
That to me is the problem because I don't want our politicians, their main driving force to be to get retribution against people they feel have wronged them, because that's not the job. The job is to make people's lives better. The job is to make people who vote for you and people who did not vote for you have it a little bit easier. It doesn't mean you do everything for them, but it does mean that you make things a little bit easier for them. Maybe even especially the people who didn't vote for you. That's the job. The job is not to get into office and then take out whatever grievances you have on the people you feel like have wronged you. That should not be the mindset ever for an American politician.
No. And to be completely honest, you're right. Everything you said. I'm just so appalled and grossed out by Tucker Carlson's speech that probably, this may come across as personal, but it's weird. He's weird. Like you can say, oh, that's the Tim Walz line. Yeah. You know what? I don't even like Tim Walz.
I was saying it first.
And Tim
I was
Walz,
saying it before Tim Walz.
And Tim Walz is right. Like I said, I don't even like the guy, but he's right. Tucker Carlson, that speech, the people cheering was weird. I had a whole wow, a lot of emotions here. Maybe Tucker Carlson's dad never said he was proud of him. Maybe Tucker Carlson had another sibling and always that sibling was spoiled. And Tucker Carlson's like, I wish dad would see how this sibling act. I don't know. Maybe Tucker Carlson, I don't know. Maybe he's not having sex. I don't know what it is, but all of that, literally, that's all coming out on stage. Because if that's how you feel, you have that amount of passion, and that's your analogy for Donald Trump, for a president of the United States, for politics, something way deeper and creepier is going on. And I'm sorry, but the Republican Party, which doesn't like big government and doesn't like lots of giant welfare programs and spending, who has condemned this idea of the nanny state over and over again, has completely jumped over the nanny and now has the daddy state. That's what they want. You want President Trump to be your daddy and solve your problems? You are a weirdo.
And apparently the crowd, when Trump took the stage yesterday, did chant "Daddy's home," which is kind of weird.
Oh my gosh.
So, all right, whatever your reasons for wanting to vote for him are, and I think there can be good reasons if you honestly truly think he's going to do right by you, and you think he is going to do the thing that I'm talking about, improve your life in some meaningful way, and has a plan to actually do that, that's great. If your driving force for following him or loving him or wanting to vote for him is he's going to take it out on people you don't like, that's not a good thought process.
No.
It's not a good way to come about a vote. And I know there are people who genuinely believe that he has their best interests in mind, and that's okay if you believe that. And I would want you to vote for somebody you think has your interests in mind. But if it's something darker, if it's I just hate these other people, I hate Democrats, and he's going to go after them, and that's what I want, you need to rethink how you come about those decisions.
No, you do. And I guess, again, the Republican Party historically has been my party. And this is so gross and offensive to me because here's the thing. I get it. I get that Republicans, conservatives felt condescended to by the Democratic Party, by the progressive left, and by, the titans of culture like academics and Hollywood, right? We were called a basket of deplorables by Hillary Clinton. I get it. And I know that, they look down a lot of times. Super progressive people, they do tend to be less religious at universities and so forth. And they look at people who are mid-American, they go to church, the average American, they look kind of down on them like Hillary Clinton did, right? I get that. Here's the thing. If you felt condescended to by Democrats, this whole daddy's home, America needs a spanking, this is the most condescending thing you could ever imagine, and it's coming from inside your own party. The condescension or people looking down on you, do you know how low Donald Trump thinks of you? How low Tucker Carlson thinks of you? If this is their appeal that we need a daddy to come save the country, they're mocking you. They're making a joke of the GOP.
It's not even, I don't know. I do think that for a lot of people, they're hearing that comment, daddy's home, and they're thinking, oh yeah, you're going to take it out on my brother who was being a real jerk today. And I can't wait to watch you do it. Again, it's about retribution. And I hate that mindset. They're along the lines of what you're talking about, how maybe the Democratic Party in a lot of ways either turned its back or did not pay enough attention to certain kinds of people. Adam Kinzinger had some comments on this a few days ago. I want to bring them to you to hear what you have to say about it, what you think of it, and we'll do that when we come back. It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
You can tell a lot about a person by the company they keep. Matt Williams, he's backed by the same people who brought you Defund the Police, Amnesty, and health care for illegal immigrants. They're with radical liberal Matt Williams because he's with them. And nothing's too extreme for Matt Williams. Defund the police, open borders, taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. That's Missouri's future if liberal Matt Williams and his radical friends have their way. But there's a better way. Army combat engineer Adam Schnelting. Adam Schnelting has a proven record of common sense leadership. He led the fight to deport criminal illegal immigrants. He cut our taxes, and he stands with our men and women in uniform. Adam Schnelting shares our values, and he'll always have our back. The choice is clear. Adam Schnelting for State Senate. Paid for by the Missouri Senate Campaign Committee.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
Hi, it's Stacy from Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living, telling you about one of the best offers we've had in the nearly 21 years I've been at Fairwinds. One-bedroom apartments start at $39.95. For all units, we've greatly reduced the residency fee. We are offering a move package of up to $3,500. And moving in, you will not have an increase in 2025. Visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza! Jinx!
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Rich Orris hosts the King of MOX Home Improvement Show, presented by Mosby Building Arts. Saturday at 11 on the Voice of St. Louis, King of MOX.
All right, so I mentioned Adam Kinzinger, and we were talking about the Democratic Party maybe not fostering some of the groups that they used to foster or pay attention to. And this is what Adam Kinzinger said. And this was a tweet from a couple of days ago. He said, I think Democrats would be well served to understand that men have felt unappreciated after the era of everything masculine is toxic. They found a home in Trump as he was the only one defending them. We need to present healthy masculinity and offer a home for it. If you don't think this is an issue, then you aren't paying attention. And he also tweeted that the GOP has lost women, but they've made massive inroads with men. They have manipulated their loneliness and feelings of abandonment. Dems would be wise to present healthy masculinity or risk losing a whole generation.
It's really true. And like I said, for whatever reason, my circle is very academic. And I say that's important because just the faculty at Harvard, I think it's like 91% identify as very progressive, 87% at Yale, very progressive, like really high numbers, right? So you're in these academic circles and also international circles. And what I found is it's not that they're just not religious, a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
It's that they're pretty hostile towards it, right? It's kind of like this was an actual quote from a friend. He said, well, Christianity preys on disabled people and the elderly. That's what he told me. And he said, how can someone as smart as you be a Christian, believe the Bible? That's insane. And it's a very good friend. And I'm glad that he was able to have that honest conversation with me. But it is true that I have been absolutely condescended to for being conservative or for being more traditional. So I will say that feeling, and this is why we know that the general public and the media didn't hear those voices, because nobody saw Trump's victory in 2016. Nobody saw it coming. Some guy at CBS said, We missed it.
Well,
We missed it.
and I don't think what Kinzinger says is inherently wrong. I think there is some truth to that. I think that it is a good idea that we have made an effort to call out toxic masculinity, which does exist and it does happen. But I agree with him that not everything masculine should be considered toxic.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe that pendulum went a little too far to the left.
Switching gears a little bit, but this Atlantic story that brought up the quotes about Trump saying he wished he had generals like Hitler. And this was from former White House Chief of Staff John Kelly. It's been confirmed by other people that like, why don't I have generals like Hitler? And Hitler did some good things too. Really astonishing and appalling comments. And then we have, Kamala Harris giving her CNN town hall.
Which could have been a debate, but Trump did not want to do it.
This was Van Jones. He's a Democratic commentator on CNN. This was his take.
Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are not taking the same exam.
Yeah.
And I think it bothers people. They're not taking the same exam. He gets to be lawless. She has to be flawless. That's what's unfair. That's what's unfair. That's what's unfair tonight. That's what's unfair tonight. They're not taking the same exam. Look, she has policies. She may not articulate them perfectly every time. She may not put the stories in the right places, but she's fighting for actual ideas that will help real people. And he's talking about people's penises. And so they're not taking the same exam. And that's pissing people off. It's pissing me off.
So I think that's such a good point, because here's the thing. I get it. Kamala Harris isn't the best candidate. She's not Barack Obama, who is just ridiculously talented. She's not Bill Clinton. Yeah, I get it. Not great. But Trump, the other guy, admires Hitler, or at least the power that Hitler exerted. Those are not two equal judging grounds. You say, okay, well, she didn't answer the question at a town hall. Donald Trump was at a town hall with Governor Kristi Noem and danced on stage for 39 minutes. They're not even comparable. The insanity of those two things. You don't answer a question well versus you dance on stage for 39 minutes.
This goes back to the idea of consistency that we have talked about in the past, that if we're going to judge one candidate by a certain set of standards, you have to judge them both by the same standards and not go, well, that's just how he is. And we're going to grade him on a curve. No, grade them both on the same curve. And I do agree with Jones. That's not being done right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about campaign finance and what is legal, what is not legal with Anna Masolia, who is an investigative reporter on this. And she will talk to us when we come back on KMOX.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This is Ari Azim, founder at Tax Hardship Center. Do you owe the IRS more than $25,000 and wonder where you stand with them? Are they poised to levy your bank account or garnish your next paycheck? Are you aware you can find out where you stand with the IRS without talking to them? Everything is in the IRS transcripts. The transcripts can let you know if you're at risk of or safe from collection actions like a bank levy or paycheck garnishment. It even tells you the exact date when your tax debt expires. But don't call them, as it can trigger their collection process. At Tax Hardship Center, we're providing the first 10 callers with a free tax report valued at $495 that shows all of this information. So for the listeners out there, call now, 800-411-6406. Our team at Tax Hardship Center will provide the first 10 callers with this free tax report, which will help you see things clearly without poking the bear. We have live professionals ready for your call. 800-411-6406. 800-411-6406. That's 800-411-6406.
At 12:30, we have sunny skies, 65 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. As no excuse absentee voting enters its third day, long waits have remained for those hoping to vote early in St. Charles County.
In St. Peters, some voters I've spoken to said the line to get inside to vote isn't so bad. It's the traffic to get there that's been the problem.
I was on the highway to here was about 45 minutes to an hour. And then here to vote, once I parked, was 10 minutes.
So not so bad once you got here. It's just a matter of getting here.
Getting here, yes, yes.
Another group of voters I spoke to said the line to get in through traffic was as long as 90 minutes. So times have certainly been ranging on this third day of early voting in St. Charles County. In St. Peters, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Coming up in KMOX News at 1, officials at Fort Leonard Wood say they're investigating the death of a soldier as a homicide. We'll have an update from Scott Jagow. Checking the forecast, pleasant, plenty of sunshine today, a high of 75, cloudy and warm tonight, a low of 64 with a shower or two around late. That could extend into tomorrow morning. Otherwise, tomorrow, a mix of clouds and sun, a high 73. Right now, sunny skies, 65 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Visit us today.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we'll change your oil in about 15 minutes. We're quick, never rushed. You can drive in today, no appointment needed. For a limited time, mention this ad for $20 off your first oil change. Offer details found at VIOC.com/radio.
I see clearly now, thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youridoc.com.
If you're planning to sell and also buy a home in the near future, I know it can be stressful. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty knows selling and buying your next home at the same time can be tricky, especially in our area. This is Debbie Monterey, and if you need to sell and buy at the same time, this message is for you. Gloria Liu has several great options for her home sellers, including her Sell and Stay program that gets you the most money possible for your current home and then allows you to stay put until you find your next home. No more stress, worries, or hassles or settling. Gloria Liu makes selling your St. Louis area home easy, and she's been doing this for more than 21 years. So why risk working with an average realtor when you can work with the best? The name to remember is Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty, reminding you why pay more than $4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many market's ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than $4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much, but the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Podcast The Bernie Mickler Show today on the free Odyssey app and follow to receive Bernie's daily take on Cardinals, Blues, or whatever else is in the news. AUDACY.
Well, look, I'm not going to waste all the time I'm in. I'm going to talk about his running mate. His running mate, Elon Musk.
Yeah, you know what he said from there.
Yeah, we had to bleep it out.
We had to
out.
cut it before we got to that point.
Yes, vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. Well, what he was referring to with Elon Musk is something that seems a little off, maybe, we're not sure. And that would be Elon Musk is offering a $1 million lottery giveaway to people who are registered voters and sign his petition. So you're entered into the lottery when you sign his petition. And a lot of people are wondering if that is perhaps election interference. We're not sure. As Trump would say, we're looking into it. Anna Masolia is with Open Secrets DC Editorial Investigations Manager. Open Secrets is a nonprofit. It's based in Washington, D.C. It publishes data on campaign finance and lobbying. And Anna joins us today. Anna, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
So that $1 million giveaway, I know there are key points to exactly how Elon Musk is giving this money away that could perhaps make it legal or illegal. But I think the main one is he's asking people to sign this petition if they're registered voters, and then their name gets entered into a lottery to win $1 million. And this is taking place in certain key swing states.
Yes, so it's perfectly legal for Musk to be pouring tens of millions of dollars into a super PAC, in this case, America PAC. Where it gets into a murkier legal territory is because the individuals who would qualify for this lottery, for these giveaways, have to be registered to vote. And there raises questions about whether this could potentially implicate rules against vote buying.
And we know the Department of Justice within the last 24 hours sent a letter to that political action committee warning them that this could potentially be illegal. So is there if the DOJ is already has it on their radar, doesn't that kind of indicate that this probably leans toward being illegal?
It's hard to say at this point since there's a lot of unknowns and a lot of disagreement among different election lawyers and ethicists. So it's really hard to say. This is such an unprecedented area. We're in uncharted territory here with both the activities that this political action committee is engaging in, but also the amount of money that Musk has to throw around and use in this way.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, it just kind of struck me as foul. This seems odd. This seems illegal. But I know when it comes to election law, the language is very specific that you can't pay someone to vote. You can't pay someone to register to vote or to do any part of the becoming a voter or voting process. But since this is the petition, like, hey, come sign my petition and you're automatically entered into a lottery, that's something that kind of happens at is it campaign parties or rallies where you make a donation and you're entered into a lottery?
Exactly. There are so many ways that in campaign finance law and election law generally that loopholes and can be skirted. There's a lot of gray areas, not just about this, but generally about groups coordinating together, about lack of disclosure around contributions that allow, in many cases, political activities to go largely unchecked, even if the intent of the law is on the book, whether it's who discloses their donors or whether a super PAC and political action committee can coordinate together. There's so many ways to get around what the intent of the laws really are.
You know, it's been a pretty easy target to just say, well, Citizens United created all of this and it's gotten worse since then. Is it that simple? Is that why the environment is the way it is?
It's much more complicated and nuanced over the years. Citizens United and the different court decisions around then in 2010 certainly opened the door for unlimited money to start pouring into elections from corporations and through groups like super PACs that can raise and spend unlimited sums, and as long as they disclose their donors. But since then, there have just been so many new tactics that have been exploited over the years, new methods of reaching voters, whether that's the internet, online media, as well as new opportunities. And the pure amount of money since then has increased exponentially. And not all of that's necessarily because of the Supreme Court decision. It's just also the matter of new and creative tactics being exploited every year.
Yeah. So, and again, like I said before, this case, I didn't even realize that you could have a rally or a campaign party and say, if you donate, your name's automatically entered into a raffle. I didn't even realize you could do that. I want to ask you about the pilot initiative in Georgia, the whole Get Out the Vote initiative in Georgia in 2022. And was this one legally challenged? So in this case, the Democratic Party paid low propensity voters to call or text other low propensity voters to encourage them to vote. So these were already registered voters, low propensity voters. They weren't paying them to vote. They weren't paying them to register. They were paying them to call other low propensity voters, encourage them to vote. They reached 160,000 people, and they believe it increased voter turnout by 3.6%. Was that voter Get Out the Vote initiative challenged at all?
I am not as familiar with the legal repercussions of that particular area, but we've certainly seen a rise in political kind of peer-to-peer or P2P messaging, where it's not just a campaign or a political group speaking to voters directly. It's not just ads being run on TV. It's also them trying to use other individuals or grassroots efforts as mouthpieces for their political messaging. It's getting other people who they might be more susceptible to receive those messages from to relay that message in a way that their target audience is more likely to actually follow through. And so having those kind of peer-to-peer types of campaigns can really increase the effectiveness in a way that if someone's just hearing from a super PAC directly or from a candidate, they might not necessarily lend that same credibility to them.
Anna Masolia is with Open Secrets, which is a nonprofit that looks into campaign finance and lobbying. And I think this is the overall issue here of money in politics. And when you ask the average person, they would say, you got to get money out of politics. You've got to get rid of lobbyists. You got to get rid of all these people with money that have influence. Is there a realistic way that would be best for the country for us to operate in terms of campaigns and the way they are financed?
At Open Secrets, the main thing we advocate for is more transparency. It's really important for voters to have information about who's behind the messaging that they're consuming, especially if they're relying on when they go to their voting place. In many cases, people might not know who's behind the groups that are putting out political messaging and informing how they're shaping their opinions of a candidate. And so I think it's really important, at least as a starting point, to get that information out there, make it accessible to the average member of the public, and for people to be more informed as they're voting and forming opinions on candidates generally.
So I know that the legal process generally takes some time, right? Even if an investigation begins, would we even have an idea of a timeline if the DOJ starts to look into this petition lottery with Elon Musk?
It's hard to say, and it's unlikely we'll have any concrete answers before Election Day. It's also more complicated when you have the potential of a change of administration, depending on which way the election goes. And so it's really hard to say whether we would have any answers, whether those would even be public anytime soon.
Anna, I've been wondering about the way we sort of go about doing this and looking at Elon Musk, who has kind of changed his position over the years, where it was, well, I'm just more interested in both sides being represented equally. Well, now he's gone to just being a Republican donor and really working hard to put the former president back into office. And I know we don't know about the legality of what he's doing, but to have is it inherently wrong, in your opinion, and maybe you don't think it is, for a billionaire with his kind of influence to be able to put as much money as he wants to into this campaign? Is this a system that is not sustainable?
I don't know if I could comment on the morality of that necessarily, but it is becoming increasingly common for billionaire mega donors to pour tens of millions of dollars into elections these days. Musk is not alone in having these large contributions. He's given $75 million. We have others who've given hundreds of millions over the years. What really makes Musk stick out this year, in addition to his creative tactics, is the fact that he hasn't been this involved in many prior years, that he has largely shied away from leveraging the huge sums of money that he has at his disposal for politics. He has given smaller contributions over the years, but the sum of money that he has given this cycle is unprecedented for him and putting him among the other top donors of the cycle.
Anna Masolia, we appreciate the work that you're doing. Thank you very much for joining us today on KMOX.
Thank you for having me.
Anna is with Open Secrets, editorial and investigations manager there. It's a nonprofit out of Washington, D.C. And again, they look at campaign finance and lobbying, which we've had this discussion a bunch on this show and on that first hour of the Glover show, talking about the influence, and in particular, the influence of the wealthy in campaigns. It's not entirely new, but it does feel like it's, I don't know, feels like it's gotten out of hand in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I don't know, because you know that money and power have always influenced politics. They've always influenced or are the ruling class, whatever it may be, depending on your system of government. I don't know if we just know more now. We have the ability to know more, because we certainly know that the Rockefellers were influencing politics,
Sure.
and Anheuser-Busch and any company with a lot of money. I think they have always been influential. But as we have more and more outlets, media, and avenues to spend money on influence, that number is just going to skyrocket.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. You can leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app. Don't forget that. Make sure you do it whenever you want to, right here on the Chris and Amy Show.
Broadcasting from the Under-Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 23rd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events. It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Don't you deserve healthcare you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Missouri, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Need money for a new home? The Carpenters Union is offering up to $10,000 to all McKelvey home buyers. Use these funds to cover your closing costs or secure a fixed 30-year mortgage rate. Visit McKelvey Homes and secure your dream home with unmatched quality and value.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
I'm Megan Lynch. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Amy, did you get that E. coli poisoning from the quarter pounder?
Thank goodness I did not, because that's also one of my many fears. Food poisoning.
Oh, have you ever had food poisoning?
Well, I can't say that. No, I haven't. Knock on wood.
There's no wood in here. Did you know, Amy, that there has been a lawsuit finally filed against McDonald's?
Well, I believe it. Somebody died, and so many people got sick.
Yes. Greeley. Where is Greeley? It must be outside Denver or near Denver.
Okay.
A Greeley man says he was sickened by the E. coli after eating a quarter pounder. He has filed a lawsuit against the restaurant. It is the first one of this latest outbreak.
So I think it might be the onions, because they've recalled 4 onion products. McDonald's has recalled 4 onion products.
What are onion products?
I don't know.
Are they onions?
I guess.
What's an onion product?
I don't know. Maybe the producers? I don't know. At any rate, yes,
So-
because they're different producers. But is it the onion company's fault? Big Onion?
Well, okay, it could be the farm where they come from. So this is my understanding of how it happens. And if you're a farmer or know better than me, go ahead and text us at 314-436-7900 or leave us a voice message on the app. My understanding is when bacteria like this, like E. coli or something else, gets into lettuce or vegetables or whatever that's growing on a farm, that usually there's livestock nearby. And the runoff from their poo-poo is getting wherever the vegetables are growing. And then the vegetables get picked, and then they get put on the truck and then sent away, and that's how that happens.
It's that. It can also be human feces as well.
Human poo-poo? Oh, come on, man.
Matt.
Come
You
on.
can't do that.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, because if you're like working in the field and you have to go sometimes.
What?
Yeah.
They just poo-poo where the crops are? No, they do not.
They say because sometimes they do trace it back if it's human feces or cow feces or whatever it may be. Think of that one runner that pooped in the front yard in Colorado.
What?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it could be someone. It doesn't matter. At any rate, don't eat those onions.
But McDonald's has said that they have fixed that problem and that it is safe to go there. So you don't have to worry about it.
Hey,
but so does that mean that they're not, they're not cleaning themselves properly, not cleaning their hands, and then they go and they handle the onions, the people?
well, it depends on where it originated.
Okay.
It could be human or animal in outside in the field, right? Anybody could be in a field.
Here, this is the only way to avoid it. Just don't eat. If you don't want E. coli, just don't eat ever.
Well, that's not true, because you could also go in a creek that has overflow from a sewer, because a lot of creeks have E. coli in them.
That's true. Don't drink water and don't eat food.
Don't swim. Hey, Matt, I do want to give him this chance. He has told me this fact like 5 times this morning.
Matt Pajeski?
Matt Pajeski. He really
Producer
wants
Matt?
us to talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Matt, I believe you know where I'm going.
Denny's?
Yes.
Denny's is closing 150 locations. And I think the diner is dying. I don't think my generation appreciates a good diner.
I love diners.
Yeah.
Late night inebriated diners are great.
So are there any in this area?
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, Denny's though? I don't know.
Denny's
I don't know.
that are going away.
I haven't checked. I don't know.
There is something about getting to go to a diner at like 3 a.m. or 3:30 or 4 because you're just up with the crack of dawn or before
Yeah.
it. I love it.
I love a diner, but I've only actually gone for breakfast, like after a run. So I've
Mhm.
never gone I've never been inebriated.
You've never gone in to soak it up. You've gone in to start the day.
But I have driven a friend to a really good Mexican restaurant when we were driving home from Kansas City. We were driving home from Denver, but we just got past Kansas City, and she needed some refried beans. She said to soak it up.
Let me tell you something.
We got a giant burrito with refried beans because she said, this is what I need. It's the only thing that's going to make me feel better.
The two things that are the absolute best
Yeah.
when you've been partaking
Yeah.
are breakfast food
Mm-hmm. Mexican food.
burritos. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't mean like Taco Bell burritos. I'm talking like a real
Well, and here's the
Mexican
thing.
place.
We were like an hour out of Kansas City, so kind of in Nowheresville. And she found this Mexican restaurant that was a couple miles off the highway, which is pretty far when you're on a road trip. And then it was in not even a strip mall, like a mini strip mall next to a gas station that had a huge Goodwill container next to it and a couple of homeless people taking stuff out of the Goodwill container.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, this is pretty, it's not fancy, right? It's pretty nondescript. It is the best Mexican food I have ever had in my life.
You don't want the fancy place.
No.
You
The
want the
fancy
place with
places
bars
are-
on the windows.
That's right. Like, you're not even joking.
Yep.
This place, I mean,
I'm
like I said,
serious.
it was pretty sketch, and we drove pretty far off the highway, and it was next to a gas station. It was the very best burrito, refried beans I've ever had in my life. I'm
And
still thinking about it.
If you get tacos,
Yeah.
the way to do it with the soft shell, probably the corn, usually it's the soft shell corn. You got to get onions and cilantro with the meat. That's it. Nothing else. No sour cream, no
Just
cheese,
street
no
tacos.
lettuce. Onions, cilantro, meat. Best tacos you could possibly have.
Not from McDonald's. Look at the onions from McDonald's.
Not the
Don't
do
get
not
the-
get the do not get the McDonald's onions for your
Yeah.
burrito. All right, we're going to be back with you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We do have a podcast that you can go back and listen to from the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. We will talk to you tomorrow. Once again, it is Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji. We're going to stick around with Glover for an hour here on KMOX. They just poo-poo where the crops are?
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or